All this story would begin in the exhibition tournament that the Gods of Destruction had. However, everyone had thrown themselves against Beerus, implying that he was the most powerful god and the most hated by all. Beerus was able to face all the Gods of Destruction equally. However, in the end, only Kaitala and Beerus would remain. All the other gods had been defeated, but when both launched their last blows, Daishinkan would get in the middle of both, stopping their blows.
That has been all. Now I'll give the rules of the Tournament of Power, so that you'll be prepared.
The rules would be the same, however, all the gods had taken a little grudge to the god of Universe 7, Beerus, since his power was so much, he was even able to defeat them even though they were 11 against 1. Everything would go on as normal, with the victory of Universe 7 and the Android 17 bringing them back to all the universes. All the gods were furious, especially with the Saiyan Goku, who had achieved a power beyond a god of destruction. The only one who would be able to defeat him would be the god Beerus. That's right, both subjects of great powers belong to Universe 7. The god Vermouth would convene a meeting with all the other gods of destruction, as they could not allow that Saiyan and Beerus further increase their levels of power. All the gods would come to his call.
Gods of Destruction, like you, I feel humiliated to be revived by a mere mortal. Do you want revenge like me?
Of course we want revenge, but we can't do anything. If you both join forces, you'd be able to defeat us very easily.
That shouldn't be a problem if we summon this super destroyer.
No! I am not going to merge with all of you again to give birth to the super destroyer.
You know that it is the only alternative, because if we face them all, even the Saiyan would be able to eliminate them on his own. That Saiyan only pollutes the universe. He has no right to be alive. I'm gonna rip his head off his body. I think that's an excellent thought, Sherry. So tell me, gods, are you with me or against me? We're willing to do everything to finish off Beerus and Son Goku.
All the gods were very thoughtful, however, one of the wisest gods began to speak.
The plan of the god of Universe 711 seems excellent to me, but we're overlooking something of utmost importance.
The Saiyan Son Goku is the best friend of the King of Everything.
The god of Universe 8 Liquor's right. Although when we merge all our powers, unite, and multiply 100 times, we're not opponents for an angel. The King of Everything would finish this off without realizing it.
For that reason, do not worry. Look who's on our side.
At that moment, a Daishinkan would appear. However, there was something strange about this one, since its essence was not the same as the Daishinkan of the Tournament of Power. All the gods would bow.
Gods, don't worry. I'm on your side. I'm not the Daishinkan you know, as I was the High Priest of the Zeno-sama of the future who would abandon all the universes.
So, you're the guardian of the other Zeno-sama who's in our time?
That's right, Champa. Our Zeno-sama abandoned us all because that filthy Saiyan asked him to. Without knowing that the whole future would be exterminated, beings of great powers like the gods, angels, and me, we were affected since the whole universe began to disintegrate.
So, Father, so you intend to support the plan of our destroyer gods?
That's right, so you guys don't have to worry. Me, being the High Priest, I know every weak point of the King of Everything and how to finish him off. Again, I repeat, gods, are you with us or against us?
All that time, all the gods, having the support of the High Priest, would accept.
Our plan to end Universe 7 has begun. The moment of revenge.
Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Vegeta and Goku were fighting at sea. That's right, sometime later, Bulma had organized a party on a yacht, and both Saiyans were having a great workout while Beerus and Whis were tasting all the food.
Damn, Kakarot! Activate the Ultra Instinct again. Why are you holding back?
I'm not holding back, Vegeta. I just need to be in trouble to activate it.
Then I'll put you on the verge of death so you'll be able to activate it.
Well, Mr. Goku and Vegeta have surprisingly increased their level.
That's right. It's time to have a successor. I don't have time to be the most powerful god anymore. I would like it to be Goku, but since he doesn't like to destroy planets, I know he won't accept, so the perfect candidate is Vegeta.
Whis and Beerus would continue talking, however, at that precise moment in which Goku and Vegeta were exchanging blows, a powerful attack was heading to Vegeta's blind spot, which would be able to finish with Vegeta, Goku would realize that with his power he would not be able to do anything. He would quickly activate his technique.
Kaioken increased 50 times!
Goku's power would explode in a matter of seconds, leaving Vegeta surprised since it was supposed to be a training fight. Beerus and Whis had also noticed the power, but they're too far away to do anything. Goku with all that power would give a powerful blow to Vegeta. Vegeta, furious, was approaching Goku at a high speed, but he was surprised to see how Goku was stopping their destructive power.
Damn it! I'll not allow this to fall onto Earth. Kaioken increased 100 times!
With the power that Goku had expelled, he was able to disintegrate that great power, since the law of destructive power is based on not being able to destroy any beings that exceeds the power of its bearer. And Goku, by increasing his Kaioken 100 times, was able to overcome the limit. Goku would return to his base state a bit exhausted.
Kakarot, what just happened?
I have no idea, Vegeta. I just knew that attack was directed at you.
At that moment, Beerus and Whis would stand next to Goku and Vegeta since they noticed the presence of the 11 Gods of Destruction.
What the hell's wrong with you? Why the hell are you in my universe?
At that moment, Vermouth would stand in front of all the other Gods of Destruction.
I know that must be going through in your head, Beerus. The universe, after all, brought us to life, but it was also the worst humiliation we could receive. That's right, we won't forgive you. We will finish each of you one by one.
I'll never allow that. I can only finish with all of you.
I agree with you, but let's see what you could do when you face the Super Destroyer. You know the limit of its power. Goku, Vegeta, attack! Don't let them summon the Super Destroyer!
Goku and Vegeta, noticing that even Beerus got nervous when they named that being, both Saiyans would go on to the attack. Goku had recovered his power thanks to Whis. Goku in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken increased 20 times. He was able to face the weakest gods, while Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution was powerful enough to keep some gods aside, and Beerus was able to take care of all the others.
It's too late, Beerus. When we arrived on this planet, we all prepared ourselves, only to complete the final step here.
At that moment, a pentagram would form on the entire planet Earth. That's right, and an extremely impressive power would be present. Beerus would likewise launch into the attack, but a strong bolt of lightning would make him retreat. That's right, all 11 gods were in the invocation of the Super Destroyer.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but we'll not be left behind. We'll summon Gogeta, the Hellborn Saiyan.
Goku and Vegeta, without thinking about it, giving birth to Gogeta once again. Gogeta, when realizing everything that was happening, would quickly pass to the Super Saiyan Blue maximum power. However, the power that was going to be released so much, leaving surprised even the same Whis. That's right, Gogeta was able to reach the most powerful state of Son Goku, achieving the Ultra Instinct. Daishinkan was watching everything that had happened would be said.
This is bad. Power of those two Saiyans is great, and when they invoked that fusion, their power exploded. I'm not satisfied with that. They access the Ultra Instinct. Their power is comparable to the Super Destroyer, since the most powerful god, that is Beerus, is not found in this invocation. The invasion was over, and they could observe a being which did not seem to be at all imposing. Well, well. After millions of years, I've been summoned again.
Damn you. You don't have enough power as long as you don't have my power.
Beerus, with anger, would throw himself against the new being. However, the Destroyer was able to stop his fist with only one hand.
So that's why I feel weaker than the last time you summoned me. But you still don't have the power to face me.
The Destroyer was about to direct a furtive blow, which would be able to knock him out of combat. But at that precise moment, Gogeta would appear in front of Beerus, stopping the blow of that guy with only one of his hands.
So you're the invasion of the 11 remaining gods? How interesting. Now you'll face me. Who the hell are you? How could you stop my fist in its tracks?
I'm the summoning of Goku and Vegeta, the most powerful Saiyans of all the universes, and I'm the angel who was born in hell, the mighty Gogeta.
Gogeta and the Destroyer would begin to exchange blows at an extremely impressive speed. Beerus would be surprised since he would realize that Goku and Vegeta fused exceeded his power, but he was not 100% correct because in Super Saiyan Blue, he would have been slaughtered very easily. It was thanks to the fact that when observing the subject, his body felt the danger only with his pressure, managing to access the Ultra Instinct maximum power. The whole Earth was being affected by such a monstrous battle. However, Whis, with the help of his staff, would be able to restore it all completely, and being able to place an energy field so that the Earth is not affected, Gogeta was overcoming the Destroyer. In a clash of attacks, the Destroyer exceeded its allowed limit, returning all 11 gods. The attack was about to eliminate them. However, at that moment, Daishenkin would appear in front of everyone. Whis Beerus realized his presence was pure evil. Daishenkin, with only one hand, was able to stop such an attack, and at that moment, he would thunder his fingers, making Goku and Vegeta return to normal. Daishenkin would knock out everyone except for Goku and Beerus.
Father, why is he doing this?
Because of that damned mortal, my time epoch was destroyed, so I'll destroy everything he loves.
Daishenkin would take both Saiyans heading to the temple of Kami-sama, where he would quickly lock him up, and in the same way, he would place a divine seal of high power. Not satisfied with that, he would raise to heaven with all the other gods and would explode the entire planet.
Whis, are you with us or against us?
I'll never unite with a being like you.
I knew you'd say something like that, so die!
Daishenkin would throw a large sphere of energy, which Whis would try to stop, but the condensed power was too much and he would immediately perish. Daishenkin and all the other gods would leave to an inhospitable planet where Daishenkin would begin to give them some orders.
Firstly, what you need is to train a lot more. The fusion of only 2 mortals was able to defeat the fusion of 11 gods. And secondly, I need you to continue exercising your god positions normally. We cannot make Zeno-sama suspicious.
We understand about the training, Daishenkin-sama, but why must we still follow the orders of that dwarf?
You must follow his orders, because first, we must ask the Super Dragon Balls that the Destroyer gods are immune to the erasing technique.
Understood, Daishenkin-sama. That'll be what we'll do.
We are all in contact gods. Disperse.
All the gods would come out as flashes. Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku and Beerus were still not awake. After approximately 2 more hours, Beerus would be the first to wake up as he was less injured than Goku.
Damn it! As I could tell, the Daishenkin of the future was that brat Trunks has been corrupted by the negative energy and wants to finish with all of us.
At that moment, Goku would wake up in the same way, very badly wounded, because his wounds were serious. And at that moment, a portal would be created inside the time room from which Whis' staff would come out. At that moment, Whis' voice would be heard.
If you are listening to this, it must mean that I have died. With my last reserves of energy, I give you immortality, Mr. Goku. I give you all the knowledge to be able to break all your limits as a Saiyan. I trust you.
At that moment, Beerus would be filled with an immense rage, wanting to do everything to get out of that place. So much was the anger of Beerus, he was even able to open a tiny portal through which he wanted to leave. Goku would quickly take it.
Calm down, Mr. Beerus, please! If you leave this instant, Daishenkin will finish you and the death of Mr. Whis will be in vain! Let go of me, Goku!
You're right. I don't have the power to kill Daishenkin, but I'll kill all those bastards.
We shouldn't have brought them to life! Please, Mr. Beerus, calm down!
Goku, realizing that Mr. Beerus was not calming down and it was becoming increasingly difficult, he would access the Super Saiyan Blue with a Kaioken increased 50 times. Having immortality, his bones regenerated at an impressive speed. Beerus at that moment would understand everything.
I want to train so hard to defeat that damn Daishenkin. I swear I'll finish him with my own hands and not forgive him for murdering Whis. Not only do you want revenge, Mr. Beerus, I'll also make him suffer in the worst way possible.
Goku and Beerus would begin to train to be able to overcome their limits. At that moment, Each one saw the right way to break their limits. Mr. Beerus, despite being a god prodigy, you have a very powerful transformation. With this training, you'll be able to unleash it completely.
Thank you very much, Whis, for everything. I swear I'll avenge your death.
Mr. Goku, you being a Saiyan, you have no limit. These are one of the many traits of your power, but as I always told you, Mr. Goku, do not trust and always stay in the Ultra Instinct, because if there's any attack, your body will react by reflex. Goku in the same way would observe all the training he had to do. At that moment, Beerus and Goku would stare at each other, both launched an attack. Goku wanted to master all his transformations, would pass to the Super Saiyan God, which with both would begin to give a good battle. The two beings possessed a power that even surpassed the gods. Goku and Beerus needed their bodies to be strengthened to be able to withstand the large loads of energy that were about to increase. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishinkan was very thoughtful.
This is very strange. I don't feel the presence of Whis or the god Beerus. I'll go ask something to the god Champa to see if he knows what happened to his brother.
Daishinkan would quickly create a portal with which he would leave to Universe 6. Daishinkan would arrive in a few moments, observing the god Champa very agitated. That's right, Champa was training just as the Daishinkan from the future had said.
Well, well, but if it is a surprise to observe the god Champa training, what'll happen to make the laziest god train?
You'll soon find out, Daishinkan-sama.
I'm looking forward to it, but that's not the main reason for my visit. Tell me, Champa, do you know the whereabouts of your brother Beerus?
Last time we spoke, he was able to tell me that he was going to the outskirts of the universe to train with his Whis angel.
But in the outskirts of the universe, the conditions are extreme, even for me.
That's exactly what I told him, but he said that he would overcome all his limits and that nothing and no one would stop him. Daishinkan would give a little smile.
Beerus being so Beerus. He wants to keep the position of the most powerful god of destruction. Thank you very much for the information, God Champa. We'll be in touch soon.
Daishinkan would leave again to the realm of everything. At that moment, Champa would observe Vados. Vados,
I hope you're ready. The plan to overthrow the king of everything is about to begin.
Vados and Champa continued with their great training. In all the universes, the gods were training. Meanwhile, with the Daishinkan of the future, he was very thoughtful. That's right, he would know how to get rid of his counterpart and both guardians.
With my other part, I'm sure to defeat it. I have increased my powers a lot, but if both guardians join, I'll be finished. I don't know what I should do.
Meanwhile, returning to the realm of the whole, Daishinkan felt the same way, that something was wrong. Being a supreme angel, he had a much more developed perception.
Something very bad's about to happen. I better train. I'll also inform the king of everything.
Daishinkan would talk to both kings of everything, informing them everything that was happening.
Daishinkan, being an angel prodigy and being chosen as my guardian, I'll not overlook your preeminence. Guardians, we'll all train from now on.
As you command, great Zeno-sama!
Daishinkan and his power would create a room which was perfect for the training of the kings of everything, or supreme guardians, since its gravity and environment were perfect to increase their powers. Going to Universe 6 and the planet Sedala, Kale and Calufia were training. That's right, they also wanted to reach Super Saiyan Blue phase.
Damn it! I want to be able to defeat the old man Goku!
But sis, Mr. Goku's very powerful. I don't think we have the power to defeat him.
Of course we don't have it now, but in a very short time, we'll be able to defeat him.
Meanwhile, where Daishinkan was, a great idea had occurred to him.
If the Super Destroyer didn't have the power it had before, it's because it lacked the power of Beerus, the most powerful god. But if all the gods train and absorb the most powerful warriors of their universes, they'll reach an incredible level.
Daishinkan would communicate with all the gods mentally.
Gods, I want you to absorb the power of all mortals of great power. I trust you.
All the gods would accept. However, the most thoughtful would be the gods of Universe 6, Champa, and the gods of Universe 7, Vermouth, since they possess the most powerful warriors of all the universes. However, they were not going to disobey the orders of the High Priest. The first to start between the two would be Champa. That's right. Champa began absorbing the weakest beings of his universe to finally have the necessary power to face Hit, Kefla, and Kaba. However, of all that Champa was doing, Hit had noticed.
Damn it! Mr. Champ is absorbing all the warriors of this universe.
This is bad. Sooner or later I'll have to face him. I must communicate with the Saiyans.
Quickly, Hit went to the planet of the Saiyans, informing them everything that was happening, leaving them very surprised.
But this is bad. We still don't have enough power to face a god. For that very reason I've come. I, the legendary assassin, will train you personally, making you warriors of great power.
But Mr. Hit, where do you plan to train us? Because if we raise all our power, Mr. Champa will be able to notice us.
Don't worry about that.
I control the time, or have you forgotten? Hit at that moment will create a rift in space-time, causing everyone to enter.
Here, even if they expel all their power, they won't be able to find us, or at least it'll take them much longer. So it's time to train.
Hit at that moment launched an attack against the three Saiyans, leaving them on the verge of death.
Damn you! Why didn't you let us know when you were going to attack us?
God of Destruction will never warn you when he attacks you. Now, you're just dead.
Hit with a medicine that he had received in one of his missions would make them recover quickly. The three obtained an impressive Zenkai. That's right, being on the verge of death, their battle level had increased in an impressive way. Returning to the room with Beerus and Goku, both had obtained an impressive physique, and their power had increased in an incredible way. At that moment, both would feel ready to access their transformation. The first one to try it would be Goku, who, from one moment to another, was able to access the Ultra Instinct and would begin to increase his power, remembering Whis' words.
Mr. Goku, imagine you are in the Tournament of Power. Since this power of a Saiyan is defined by anger, with the Ultra Instinct by a state of calm, you can maintain a balance. You'll be able to access all of your first transformations.
Goku would do as Whis had told him, beginning to imagine the Tournament of Power. Goku began to increase his power in an unusual way, being so much that the whole room of time would begin to shake.
The power that Goku is releasing is impressive. Can't believe all the power that he's capable of releasing.
Goku, from one moment to another, would shine a great light all around him, leaving Beerus without vision. When he opened his eyes, he would be surprised to observe a Goku very similar to when he faced on planet in the North Kaio. That's right, Goku had accessed the Super Saiyan Phase 3 Ultra Instinct. His power was so much that made Beerus tremble.
I'm not going to stay behind. Now it's my turn to transform.
Beerus would likewise begin to remember everything that Whis had told him.
Mr. Beerus, we have trained all our lives on your planet, so in that place you'll be able to create a trigger for all your power.
Beerus would begin to imagine in the same way. That's right, the power of Beerus began to increase in such an incredible way that even on this occasion, it would leave Son Goku surprised.
Mr. Beerus is impressive. I didn't think he had increased his battle level so much.
Beerus would continue to raise all his power. That's right, at that moment that his power reached its limit, he began with his great transformation. After a few moments, Beerus had finished his transformation, and you could see an imposing Beerus.
Are you ready, Goku, to finish with those bastards?
Yes, sir, Beerus.
It's time for revenge.
Both unleashed their power, distorting all that dimension. Goku and Beerus would begin to release a gigantic power, making the whole dimension shake, creating several portals. However, they still didn't have enough power to get out of that place.
Interesting. It seems we're trapped by a high-level divine seal.
Ha ha ha! But that won't be enough to stop us! Our power surpasses all the seals they put on!
That's right. But for now, it's correct that we can't get out. But in a short time, we will.
Goku and Daishenka began to train again, but this time to release a power beyond its limits. Goku, in his mind, would be able to see the transformation of the Super Saiyan Phase 4, for which he needed his tail. However, in his mind, he would hear again the voice of Whis.
Mr. Goku, I know that we would achieve the Super Saiyan Phase 3 combined with the Ultra Instinct now. His new evolution will be the Super Saiyan Phase 4, for which he has already foreseen that he would need his tail.
At that moment, Goku's tail would grow again, not suffering any superficial change.
So by recovering my tail, I'll have much more power. This is great! It's time to start training much harder than before.
Goku and Beerus would begin with one of their last training sessions. That's right, the final battle was about to be decided. Meanwhile, outside the room, Daishinkan was preparing an army to face the King of Everything. His guardians and his counterpart, what this Daishinkan did not foresee, was that his counterpart and the King of Everything of this era, as well as his guardians, were also trading.
I'm very close to banish that damn dwarf. I swear that I'll shatter him with all my power.
At that moment, the Vermouth god of Universe 11 would appear in front of Daishinkan.
Vermouth, what can I do for you?
Great Daishinkan-sama. I don't know if it's wise, but why don't we ask for the help of a Super Saiyan warrior with the Super Dragon Balls?
That's a great idea. I have an idea. Since the gods are on our side, we'll go to Universe 10 and use one of the time rings.
Daishinkan and Vermouth would head to Universe 10, arriving quickly, where they were greeted by the Supreme Kaio-sama. Daishinkan would explain everything, asking for a ring of time. The Kaio would not deny it. At that moment, Daishinkan and Vermouth, thanks to a super portal managed to reach a new timeline. They gathered the Super Dragon Balls in a few moments.
Now yes, it's time! Great God Zarma, come out and fulfill my desire.
At that moment, the great god Zarma would appear.
Tell me what is your wish. I can fulfill anything.
You, as the all-knowing being, I want you to bring to life an extremely powerful warrior.
I understand. It is a very easy wish to fulfill. His name is Archon, but he is also known as the Swordsman of Death.
Zarma's eyes at that moment would shine. The whole place where they were began to see in lightning, earthquakes, and in other disasters. That's right, the being he had brought to life was an incredibly powerful being.
This level of strength is amazing. How are you feeling, Vermouth?
Daishinkan realized that the god Vermouth was not able to breathe. He would create a barrier with which he would be able to move again.
Who is it that brought me to life? This is fascinating.
It's us, Archon. We need your help.
But you're Desiku-sama, cursed. Because of you, I was annihilated millions of years ago.
You're wrong. Deku-sama was my father. I'm Daishinkan-sama, his protagonitor.
So Dekuso's son has brought me back to life. This is interesting.
All the Destroyer Gods and I have organized a revelation against Zeno-sama and Daishinkan from another timeline. Will you help us rule everything?
Of course I will. I'll wipe out every divine being that gets in our way, especially the King of Everything.
Daishinkan would say to himself,
"That guy that Zarma brought to life seems to have an impressive grudge against Zeno-sama. This is perfect. This way it'll be much more effective."
Daishinkan was about to leave together with Vermouth and Archon, however Archon would tell him something.
I want you to bring my brother to life. He'll be of great help. He's the 007 swordsman.
Understood, but we must go to another timeline, but one question. Why 007?
That's the number of beings he's annihilated. A being that only wiped out 7 subjects. Do you really think he's helpful to us? Simple, God. Wait for your superior to finish speaking. He has annihilated 7 beings in his entire existence, but the 7 are the kings of the entire fallen multiverse.
Daishinkan would be very surprised because millions of years ago, a rumor spread through the 12 multiverses, and it said that a guy ended the lives of 7 kings of the whole.
So the rumor was true after all. A being who killed 7 kings of everything, even sacrificed himself to not kill the most powerful king of everything.
So, you know the story. That's right, he's my brother. His name is Kimura, the 007 swordsman.
Of course we'll bring him back to life. Don't worry.
Daishinkan and Vermouth and Archon would quickly create a new portal going to a new timeline. When they arrived, they did the same as in the previous one, only this time they revived the 007 swordsman. Nothing had happened, no noise or explosion.
So, after millions of years, they have brought me back to life. Well, long time no see, brother. So, you remember me. That's good, Kimura. I wouldn't be such a scum to forget my own brother. But tell me, why did you bring me back to life?
Archon began to explain everything that had happened and that they were about to face the king of everything, Zeno-sama, and take over this multiverse. Kimura, very excited, would accept. At that moment, everyone would return to their original timeline.
But before we start the great battle, I'll end the lives of the remaining 4 kings of everything.
Daishaka was about to say something, but Kimura had already disappeared from that place.
Damn it. If that guy gets in trouble, it'll be a problem, since none of the other kings know that he has come back to life.
Don't worry, priest. Nothing bad'll happen. I can assure you that.
Daishaka would stop thinking about what happened, starting to organize all his team. That's right, all the gods were even already immune to Zeno-sama's racing power. Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku and Beerus would be in the terminal phase of their training. That's right, Whis, by granting Goku all the Saiyan knowledge, was able to break all his limits.
It's time. By Whis giving me knowledge, I'm sure I won't lose my mind.
Goku at that moment would create an artificial moon in his hand, throwing it to the sky, and Goku would begin to observe it. In that same instant, Goku would begin to transform to that gigantic Ozaru.
Goku, are you alright? Can you control that state? Of course I am, Mr. Beerus. This gigantic Ozaru will not lose his mind.
Goku at that moment would begin to transform into the Super Saiyan Phase 4, but before finishing his transformation, Goku would combine it with his Divine Ki, observing the variants of the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4 and the Ultra Instinct Phase 4. Both new transformations broke all the laws of the logic of the power, since a simple Saiyan was able to overcome the power of an Angel Supreme level.
Mr. Beerus, I'm ready to begin our revenge. I think that's great, Goku, but don't be in a hurry. Control all that power so you don't wear out your energy. You're right, Mr. Beerus. Let's train for a while longer so we'll be able to finish those bastards quickly.
Goku and Beerus would begin with their last training, where they both trained their peace of mind and spiritual base. Meanwhile, with Daishaken and Archon, it had already been a week since Kimura had left, but at that moment Kimura would appear in front of everyone.
Did you defeat all the other kings except for Zeno-sama?
That's right. It was too easy. The only problem was the king of the most powerful everything.
Daishaken couldn't believe that the Kimura of the 007 swordsman possessed. However, Daishaken would come out of his astonishment when he'd hear Kimura again.
Tell us, priest, when are we going to finish with this king of the multiverse? I can't wait to do it.
I ask you to be patient, please. Very soon we'll bring down that damned one.
At that moment, all the other destroyer gods would arrive, which had increased their power in an unreal way, being so much that even the power of some of them was compared to the power of their guardian angel.
We're all ready. I don't know what the hell we're waiting for.
You're right, Kimura. Tomorrow we'll give the final blow to the kingdom of everything. So get ready, all of you.
All the gods bowed as a sign of being ready for battle. However, at that moment, a strong tremor would be felt throughout the universes, and an extremely impressive power would be present. That's right, it was the power of Zeno-sama, his guardians, and the great priests.
This can't be! The power of those bastards has increased in an amazing way. I can't believe it!
Well, despite being only 3 warriors, it'll be a very fun battle since their power's not low at all. It's time to attack! I won't let them catch us off guard.
Wait! Don't predict. I know you're very powerful, but we must have a strategy.
On that occasion, Daishaken's right. The most powerful of that king, although he doesn't compare to the power of the most powerful king, I'm sure it could cause you problems.
Gods, create the Super Destroyer.
All the gods would create the Super Destroyer again, however this time the power it gave off was even more powerful than when Beerus joined them.
This power is amazing. I can't believe that all this power is flowing through all my ki veins. Well, we are 4 against 4 since 2 of the Guardians will face my Destroyer and Archon, while Kimura will face Zeno-sama and me with my counterpart. Any doubt?
Nothing to be heard in the whole place.
So, now it's time to attack. Let's go!
At that moment, the 4 beings would increase their power to the maximum, being perceived by the 4 beings of the whole realm.
So Daishaken was right. These guys are ready to finish us off.
At that moment, a portal would open in front of all of them. But that's right, Daishaken had overlooked something since there were 2 Zeno-samas, so there were also 4 Guardians.
Plan B. Time to finish them off with a big wave of energy.
All would create a giant sphere of energy of massive destruction, being received by a wave of energy by the beings of the Kingdom of Everything. After a few minutes, their attacks colliding, a great explosion would be created. Daishaken and Zeno-sama would be surprised to observe another Daishaken. However, they would not say anything, and at that moment, a great battle would begin, in which all in a matter of a few moments that the battle had begun, 2 of the Guardians had fallen into the hands of Kimura, while Daishaken, of an attack of energy, had left the Destroyer on the verge of death. In that moment, Kimura would be in front of Zeno-sama, and both would observe each other fixedly.
I'll not let you destroy my universe. I swear we'll finish you and that evil version of Daishaken.
I will finish you. You don't deserve that power. The king of everything should not be a simple child.
I'll fight to the end with you, evil part. Let's see who dies first.
The great battle for the future of Zeno-sama's multiverse had begun. That's right, depending on which side won, the destiny of the universe would be defined. Both Daishaken were fairly even matched, which annoyed his evil side.
Damn it! How is it possible that you have the same power as me? I come from the future! My power must be much higher than yours, you damn worm! As you know, we priests have much more developed perception of danger. That's why I started training.
Meanwhile, with Kimura, he was in a great battle with Zeno-sama. That's right, the battle of both was the most devastating. They were moving through all the universes and all the space-time at an extremely impressive speed. At that moment, both would take a little distance to recover for a few seconds.
Your power is much higher than the so-called king of the most powerful everything. With you, I've been able to enjoy again what a real battle is. The same thing! I've always remained in the shadows, as the weakest king of all, but when I transform, I know that my power surpassed the most powerful king.
Both subjects began again with their battle, which destroys each planet of the 12 universes since the collision of their fists released destructive energy as well as angelic energy, thus creating the planets who do not withstand the power of both energies combined. Meanwhile, with Archon, this was an easy battle, something that even both Guardians. However, it was not so easy due to the fact that he didn't have it too easy to say so. However, he did not have it so easy because the power of the Guardians had also increased in an impressive way, being able to sometimes give him some blows which wounded him for a few minutes. However, Archon was not behind, since he also received them with blows that a normal being was hardly able to withstand.
Damn useless servants! You're giving me more problems than I imagined. We are the Guardians of the King of Everything. So we must have great power to be able to be at this level. We do not depend only on his power.
Meanwhile, in the Room of Time, Goku and Beerus had finally finished their last training, since at that very moment the voice and the silhouette of Whis could be observed for the last time in the room where they were. You have finished with your training. I congratulate you. With the training you have done, no angel and even a great priest would be able to defeat you. But do not trust, because in all universes there are always beings that can impress you.
Whis, I know you can't hear me, since it's only energy that is talking to us, but I promise that one way or another, I'll bring you back to life. You're like a father to me. Mr. Whis, thank you very much. I swear to avenge your death. We won't let you down.
Goku and Beerus at that very moment began to increase their power to the maximum, being able to explode the Room of Time without any difficulty. At the moment that both warriors left, an incredible power was felt by all the 12 universes. That's right, Goku and Beerus had not been contained in the least, feeling their power even the warriors who were fighting in the Kingdom of Everything. However, at that moment, they left completely since they appeared in space since Daishaken had destroyed the Earth. That bastard was not enough to lock us in that damned place. He also destroyed the Earth. I swear that this day, I'll finish with that bastard. Goku, apparently the Daishaken of the future is in that palace of the whole thing. A great battle is taking place. Goku and Beerus at that moment began to fly at an amazing speed through all the universes, even being able to create space-time gaps. Returning to the battle, all beings had been paralyzed by the power that could be felt. This is the power of Beerus and that Saiyan. This can't be happening. I sealed them with the divine seal.
They shouldn't be able to leave. It's a damn nightmare.
At that moment, Daishenkin took advantage of the opening to be able to connect a big blow, which would make him fall to the ground very badly wounded.
So you're the one who locked up Beerus and Son Goku. Even God Champa was your accomplice. Can't believe he was able to betray his own brother.
Daishenkin would recover from the blow and quickly increase his power to the maximum, even surpassing his limits.
We must finish these bastards quickly. That Saiyan and Beerus joined forces and will be dead.
Daishenkin began to beat up his counterpart quickly, because he knew that facing this Saiyan would be a much closer battle than facing a king at all. Daishenkin, having negative energy and taking the battle much more seriously, would be able to quickly leave the present Daishenkin in terrible conditions. Daishenkin would quickly join Archon's help, being able to quickly finish both Guardians.
Just like you, I'm also a nervous priest. The power that was felt before was a power that even I'm not able to comprehend.
Kimura was having a very even battle with Zeno-sama, and that bothered him more and more, because in all the universes, they're afraid when they hear the name of Kimura, the 007 swordsman.
I don't care if I lose my pride as a warrior. This is a battle, so between the three of us, we'll finish you, the damn king of everything. But I must admit that you've earned my respect.
Kimura, Archon, and Daishenkin quickly attacked Zeno-sama, who, despite having an incredible power, would not be able to fight against the three of them at the same time. That's right, the power of the three together had been so much as to leave Zeno-sama wounded in terrible conditions quickly. Even Zeno-sama was able to return to his base state.
Hell, if it were the three, I could manage a little. But with the three, it's too much.
At that moment, the three warriors launched a great attack, which, when united, would form a great sphere of massive destruction. Zeno-sama at that moment would close his eyes, accepting that the end had arrived. Nevertheless, he would hear a voice that he would recognize at once.
My friend Zen-chan, you mustn't worry. I know it's been late, but we've arrived.
Great Zeno-sama, don't you have a worry. We're here, and we'll take care of it.
Goku at that moment had made the attack so tiny to make it disappear with only two simple fingers. Goku would return to observe them with a cold look. That's right, Goku before arriving had returned to the perfect Ultra Instinct. He didn't want to use his most powerful transformation against the subjects that they were going to face.
Observing you, I can see all how your ki is evil, so you leave me no choice but to finish you off.
I don't know who you are, and I don't care. I thought that the being that released such power was going to come to this place, but your simple Saiyan could finish you off quickly.
Goku, not caring about what the guy had said, would return to observe the destroyer, throwing a small sphere of energy at him.
I have given you some of my power.
Are you stupid? Don't you know that I'm your enemy?
Of course I know, but before we finish you off, we'll torture you.
Goku at that precise moment had given a blow to each of them, starting to give a beating to three of them. That's right, Beerus had been left alone with the destroyer, who felt how Beerus crushed him with his pressure. But being the fusion of the 11 gods and angels, he was a little confident.
It doesn't matter if you're the most powerful god. You don't have enough power to...
The destroyer wasn't able to finish his sentence because at that moment, Beerus had given him such a great blow that it made him spit blood.
Because of this damned fault, my master Whis has died. I swear that I'll make ashes each of his bones, and when they're about to die, I'll give them energy to twist them again. I'll do it as many times as necessary to feel good.
Beerus at that moment would begin to massacre the destroyer. That's right, Beerus at that moment had grabbed him by one of his legs and like a wild beast would hit him with everything that was in front of him, destroying planets, galaxies, stars. Meanwhile, with Goku and the trio of subjects, Goku would remain standing in front of the three, which the only thing he was doing was provoking them.
I didn't know the warriors that you had recruited were so weak, Daishenkin. Really, instead of going forward, you're going backwards. Even with just one of my arms, I'd be able to fight with any of you.
Archon, who had been the angriest, launched himself against Son Goku. However, what Goku said would be true, since Goku's power had grown so much that he was cornering him using only one of his arms. Daishenkin at that moment, furious, launched himself into the attack. Kimura, observing that both launched themselves into the attack, the three warriors thought they had the advantage of being 3 against 1. Well, this was totally wrong, because at that moment, Goku would expel a little of his power. They would make them all go back hundreds of meters. But Goku at lightning speed would hold Daishenkin, teleporting to another dimension.
In this place, 1 year is equivalent to 1 minute in the real world, so I plan to torture you until I'm able to feel good.
Goku at the instant began to torture Daishinkan in a way that seemed to be a beast. The pure hatred Saiyan who loved life seemed to have died. For only 15 minutes, Daishinkan would kneel down in front of Goku.
I'm sorry, Saiyan God's son Goku. I swear I'll go to my timeline. You'll never know anything about me. I'll even revive Whis. Please, spare my life.
Goku at that moment would teleport to Daishinkan's back, and like a beast, he would pierce him with a single punch.
I'll never let an insect like you live. You even dare to destroy my planet!
Goku at that moment would take out his fist and would launch a great attack that would begin to reduce him to simple atoms. While Daishinkan was disintegrating, he was able to say his last words.
No matter what you do, you'll never be at the level of a god. With my death, the angelic world will go against you, and you'll never leave you alone until they kill you.
At that moment, Daishinkan would be completely turned into dust. Goku would come out of the dimension without warning. He'd give a big blow to Kimura and Archon, which were heading against Beerus. When Beerus felt the god power of Goku again, he knew he had finished with the life of Daishinkan.
It's time to end your pathetic life. Even your Champa betrayed me.
Beerus at that moment would throw a great sphere of Kai against him and turn the destroyer into ashes. At that moment, Beerus would stand next to Goku. At the same instant, both subjects had returned from the blow that Goku had given them.
I want to face the guy named Kimura. It's said that he's able to kill kings. I want to be able to see if he can kill a simple Saiyan.
Alright, then I'll take on the other guy.
At that moment, the four warriors began their great battle. But something that Daishinkan said was true, since in the angelic realm, the powerful Nin was furious when she perceived that the vital energy of one of her creations had disappeared.
I don't care who exterminated him. I want them to finish with that damned guy.
At that moment, the castle where the girl named Nin would explode. Nin was furious. In spite of blowing up her castle, she had not caused any damage. At that moment, one of her most powerful angels approached Nin.
Zeno-sama, why are you so angry? What happened?
Mikoshin, you as the third most powerful angel of the angelic realm, I entrust you with the mission to finish with the wretch that ended Daishinkan's life.
Does anyone have the power to end the life of an angel of supreme level?
That's right, Mikoshin. That's why I chose you. Your way of fighting is very wild, and I know you'll be able to finish that damn plague. As you command, Zeno-sama, with your permission, I'll go to fulfill my destiny. At that moment, Mikoshin at a great speed would leave the angelic realm. That's right, Mikoshin was heading to the multiverse of Zeno-sama at an incredible speed. Meanwhile, with the Battle of All, Goku little by little was putting in great trouble to Kimura. That's right, Goku was not even using his maximum power, but he was able to put him against the ropes. While Beerus, being a little weaker than Goku, was in an even battle against Archon. While they were fighting, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama were surprised observing such a destructive battle.
My friend Goku's become a very powerful being. His power is so great that he's even capable of facing Kimura, the king-killing swordsman. I can't believe the power Mr. Beerus and Saiyan Goku has achieved.
At that moment, Kimura would fall heavily towards the planet, standing up with great difficulty. That's right, Goku's power was dulling him more and more.
I'm tired of playing with you. You don't have enough power to do anything to me. I better finish you right now.
Don't say stupid things. You're so exhausted, the only thing you're doing is showing off. Your power's great, but I'm not an insect that I can't force you to use all of your power.
Did you think I was using all my power? You're a poor worm. You're not worthy of me using all my power on you.
This must be a fucking nightmare. The greatest king killer is about to be defeated by a mere mortal.
Before you die, I'll show you the power that you could never defeat. From the beginning, I was only playing with you.
Goku at that moment would begin to increase his power in an incredible way, being able to make all the universes tremble. Goku's hair was growing. At that moment, a great light would leave everyone without vision for a few seconds. After that, Goku would be observed in an Ultra Instinct Phase 3.
This is the Super Saiyan Phase 3, combined with the Ultra Instinct. Although I've still much more power transformation, you're not worthy of observing it.
Kimura at that moment would begin to tremble since he stopped feeling Son Goku's ki, and Kimura, being an experienced warrior, knew what this meant. If I stopped feeling his power, that means that the ki of that Saiyan is in another dimension much higher than mine. I hope you're ready to die, since by this transformation I'm able to finish you with a single blow, since I can't control my strength. Kimura at that moment would try to escape at a high speed, however an incredible gravity would fall on his body. What were you planning to do? Did you think I'd let you escape after knowing that you collaborated with Daishinkan? I've had enough of humiliating you, so now I'm going to finish you off. Even if you finish me off, there'll always be existing beings more powerful than you and me, and they'll be able to crush you without pity. No matter what happens, one way or another I'll be able to defeat them. We Saiyans have no limits. Goku at that moment would throw a powerful Kamehameha, beginning to reduce them to simple atoms. When he disappeared, he cursed Goku at that same moment. Beerus, in the same way, had finished the life of Archon. At last it's all over. Whis, I've avenged you. At that moment, Zeno-sama together with Daishinkan would approach both warriors. Are you still Goku, Beerus? At that moment, Goku would return to his base state, giving a big smile. Of course I am, Daishinkan! Now that I've overcome the power of an angel, I can feel that your power is completely pure. Nothing compared to your version of the future. My friend Goku, we're glad to hear that you've won this battle, but the angelic realm must be very upset with the death of the Daishinkan of the future. That's what Daishinkan said before they killed him. Can you tell us what they meant by the angelic realm? I didn't know of the existence. At that moment, lightning would begin to fall from the sky. Mountains of the planet of everything would rise through the atmosphere of the planet. An extremely powerful warrior was above them. The angelic realm. It means that all angels have a backup. If someone is able to kill them, we will personally kill that being. Makoshin, I can't breathe. This pressure is crushing me. Goku, observing that everyone was suffering from the pressure this beautiful angel was resisting. The only one who could manage to resist any difficulty would be Goku, because at that moment even Beerus would fall to his knees to the ground. Goku would create a large enough energy field so that they wouldn't affect by that woman's pressure. I don't know who the hell you are, but even your power is much greater than the being that just said to have ended the lives of all the kings of everything. Of course I'm more powerful than that supposed swordsman Kimura. If we compared him to me, it's like trying to confront a mere mortal with the king of everything. The distance of our power is like heaven and earth. I hope you don't go back on your words, since I finished Daishinkan and I'm just a mere mortal. So you're the one whose head I must cut off. This will be super fun. Since I can see that your power is something great, you'll be a great warm-up. Mikoshin at that moment would disappear, and without anyone noticing, she'd be able to deliver a powerful blow to Goku, which would make him go through some mountains of the kingdom completely. Goku would spit blood and would be a little hurt on the ground. Hell, if I had known this woman was coming, I would have deactivated my Ultra Instinct. Goku at that moment would activate the Ultra Instinct again, putting himself in front of Mikoshin. With the hit I gave you, I was able to end the life of a king altogether. Even the one called Kimura. Tell me, what is your name? My name's Goku, but I'm also known as Kakarot. Well, this is going to be very interesting. I'll quickly end your life. Mikoshin at that moment would begin to give a rain of blows to Son Goku. That despite being with the Ultra Instinct, he wasn't able to dodge them. That's right, the power of that woman surpassed him by hundreds of times. Goku on the ground would fall back to his base state. Did you really end Daishinkan's life? You're too weak. Goku at that moment would stand up furiously, starting to increase his power to the maximum, accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 3 with the Ultra Instinct, leaving Mikoshin a little surprised by such a sudden increase in power. Wow! You multiplied your power approximately 50 times, but that won't be enough, since my power goes far beyond that. We won't know until that fight. Zaru body activated! Supreme Endurance! Goku at that moment launched himself against Mikoshin, however Mikoshin dodged every one of his blows. But when Mikoshin connected a blow, his bones were pulverized when they made contact with Goku's body. However, Goku would be sent thousands of meters flying away. The hardness of your body, as far as I can tell, is multiplied 1,000 times more. You're able to break the bones of my entire right hand. Goku at that moment would stand up with a very serious look on his face, as if he was a little confused by what happened a few moments ago. What's going on here? My body's much more resistant than the hardest metal in the universe, and yet she was able to hurt me. That woman's not normal. Goku would pull out his thoughts, and he heard Mikoshin's voice behind him. You are a very smart Saiyan, but how about this? Mikoshin at that moment had thrown a large sphere of energy, which Goku, with expelling his ki, was able to free himself. But at that moment, Goku would feel an incredible pain. That's right, Mikoshin was throwing punches with the pressure of his fists, and the body he exerted was so much that even exceeded the resistance of the body of an Ozaru. If at the moment of hitting you I get hurt, I'll annihilate you with pure air blows. Although they say it's much greater agony, since you can even mix energy and pressure, making your pain agonizing for the opponent. Goku was not able to do anything since Mikoshin was finishing him easily. Goku, while receiving the beating of his life in that instant, would say to himself, the power of this woman's incredible. I mustn't hold back. Even if I don't master it 100%, I have to use it. I must prepare to die. Goku at that moment, in spite of receiving a beating, would begin to accumulate power. Meanwhile, inside the barrier, Beerus was surprised since not even the Power Son Goku was able to bend that woman.
That woman, from what I understand, is the third most powerful girl in the angelic realm, being able to defeat all the kings together and using only one of her arms. She is mighty Mikoshin-sama. I never thought I would have the honor of seeing her in front of me.
Don't say stupid things. That woman's about to kill Son Goku.
We can't do anything. Even if we got out of this energy field, the pressure of any of them would be able to crush us.
Damn, what should I do? We're being humiliated again.
Goku at that moment would give a roar of a beast completely, leaving Mikoshin a little astonished. How is it possible to raise his power like that if he's being slaughtered by my blows? It really is a being to be feared. At that moment, Goku's face combined with an Ozaru would be able to be seen all over the universe, leaving Mikoshin terrified. What's that supposed to be? You're not a mere mortal. Goku at that moment was accessing Super Saiyan Phase 4 with the combined Ultra Instinct. The power he was releasing was so much that even Mikoshin was surprised. From a big explosion, Goku would move at an incredible speed, being able to connect a sneaky punch in Mikoshin's stomach, making her kneel. That's right, Goku's power had been so much that even made an angel like Mikoshin kneel. However, Mikoshin, furious, would perform an advanced angelic technique. Kendo Sekai! A great attack like energy arrows and of a white color would invade the entire battlefield. That's right, Mikoshin's technique began to destroy everything around the universes, and Goku, with his new transformation, was able to dodge each one of the energy arrows. His reflexes have improved incredibly. He was able to dodge every single energy arrow.
The power you possess is incredible. Despite using all my power, it won't be an easy battle.
Goku and Mikoshin at that very moment released a great power, making all the universes tremble and even cracking all around them. Mikoshin and Goku were releasing an incredible power. So much was their power that even several dimensional cracks were opening all over the place. At that moment, it seemed that the whole place was paralyzed. That's right, Goku and Mikoshin began to exchange blows at an even faster speed than the speed of light. After exchanging a few blows, Goku was able to connect an effective blow, which would send Mikoshin to fly to a planet, falling without any defense. At that moment, Goku would approach all the others. Leave this place! I'll defeat her, but I can't concentrate or release all my power if I think I can hurt you.
Goku, I trained with you. Are you sure you can stop that demon?
We trained together, Beerus, but you never realized my true power. Now leave immediately! They all began to leave at a great speed. However, Mikoshin, upon realizing this event, would throw a great sphere of energy at them, which Goku would reject. Beerus, you're already much faster than Zeno-sama. Use your lightning speed and get out of here quickly. Beerus at that moment would take everyone and seemed to have transformed into the same lightning. That's right, Beerus' speed had exploded. Only being able to see some lightning around, Beerus was moving at an incredible speed. Damn, that damn cat's speed increased by an overwhelming amount. Now that none of the beings I care about are here, I can unleash my power. Don't say stupid things. The power you're using now is all your power. If that's what you thought, I hope you're prepared for the power I am about to unleash. Goku at that moment would return to his base state, leaving Mikoshin a little surprised, since his power had diminished rapidly. Mikoshin, without losing the opportunity to attack, however, Goku increased his power again to incredible scales, being able to push her away with a simple expulsion of his power.
I hope you're prepared for the transformation that even surpasses the Super Saiyan 4. This transformation still, we don't know what to call it yet, and no one's able to beat me in this form.
Goku at that moment would access the Ultra Instinct, but something to differentiate was the power he gave off. What is it supposed to be doing? The power he's releasing is barbaric! Mikoshin at that moment would be totally amazed. At the moment, she had observed the Omni mark on the forehead of that Saiyan.
Admire the power of the most powerful Saiyan of all universes! The Saiyan who even gave his life for his loved ones and was betrayed by everyone.
Goku at that moment would continue to increase his power in such an overwhelming way that even Goku's power would reach the angelic realm. This power is from that guy who's fighting with Mikoshin. This is incredible. I don't think Mikoshin will be able to face him. At that moment, a new guy would appear,
Nin-sama. The power that is released from the multiverse of Zeno-sama is incredible. Even Mikoshin's capable of losing his life. Personally, the second most powerful angel of the angelic realm will take care of that miserable mortal.
I trust you, Geika. Your power is so great that you can end the life of a king with just one finger. But the power that's released is incredible.
Don't worry, my lady. I'll bring the head of this wretch to our palace.
Geika at that moment would also go to the multiverse of Zeno-sama. Goku would still continue to increase his power in an amazing way. From a great glow, you could see Goku, who was with his new transformation, even some marks all over his body.
I'm ready. Now I hope you could do something, because in this transformation, I'm not able to contain myself in the least.
Goku at a speed that even surpassed Mikoshin would give her a great blow that would leave her seeing everything blurry. That's right, she could even observe how everything around her was moving quickly. It shouldn't be happening. The blow you gave me has done terrible damage to me. Goku at that moment, without giving any time, would begin to beat up the angel. While Goku was giving him blows, she would say to herself,
I have to knock her out quickly before I can feel my power begin to diminish. Great power begins to approach.
Goku and Mikoshin would continue exchanging blows. After 3 more minutes, Mikoshin was in terrible condition. That's right, she was no longer able to continue. Goku at that moment would approach Mikoshin.
I can see that you don't have evil ki. You're only following orders and I won't kill you.
However, at that very moment, Geika would arrive at the battlefield, giving him a great blow, which would make him retreat a few meters.
Mikoshin, are you alright?
Mikoshin wouldn't say anything, knowing that the Saiyan would have ended her life whenever she wanted. However, she didn't do it.
I swear that I'll crush every one of your miserable bones until you beg for your pathetic life. I'll not only finish you off, even your cursed offspring.
Goku at that time would stand up, staring at him.
You don't have the power to back up your words. You're a simple insect.
Geika at that moment began to give some blows to Goku, which he dodged and blocked. Goku, realizing that his power was about to fade, he would quickly use all his power in his last blow, communicating telepathically with Mikoshin.
The attack that I was going to perform this very moment has the necessary power to finish with all the 12 universes. Now that you're not a bad person, unlike the guy who arrived, I use all my power in this blow.
Goku at that moment began to increase his power in an incredible way. That's right, Son Goku's power was gathering in his fist.
Receive this, and Killer Dragon God's attack!
A great white dragon would come out of Goku's fist, which was destroying everything around him. The moment Geika, realizing such a monstrous technique, would increase a large part of his power.
That won't be enough. Dark Mythic Dragon, Travelor!
At that moment, a great dark dragon would come out of Geika's body. Both attacks begin to collide. Not being able to see a clear winner after 30 seconds of colliding, the powerful dragon of Goku is able to pulverize Geika's dragon. Goku at that moment would fall out of combat and unconscious. Goku with his last energy would begin to use to teleport, while Geika would be hit with that great attack, being disintegrated quickly. Curse! Angelic Barrier! Mikoshin was able to create a powerful barrier, which, despite having much of her power, was severely cracked. I can't believe it! That guy's power is really scary. His power is so much that it's hard to believe that he's a mere mortal. Meanwhile, with Beerus and the others, they had reached their planet. That's right, Beerus, with all the power he had, was able to place a strong barrier throughout Universe 7. Meanwhile, with Goku, he was able to feel that key of the hit, although it was something different. He would quickly use teleportation to reach Hit, Kaba, Kale, and Khalifa. That's right, these 4 warriors of Universe 6 had not been absorbed by being hidden in another dimension.
They're Goku, but how did you get here? More importantly, where were you? I searched for you all over Universe 7 because we needed your power.
Goku at that moment would be out of combat. He would quickly take out again one of the pills he had collected in one of his missions by feeding it to Son Goku. However, the wounds were so serious that he would still be out of combat.
I don't know what happened to you, but I could tell that you came from a battle that almost ended your life.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, he was very thoughtful about everything that was happening in the 12 universes. At that moment, a great golden light was able to be observed by all the universes. It was a symbol of the light that was able to be observed, and one of death, of the greatest, highest ranks of angels. At that moment, in angelic realm, Nin would be much more furious to realize that Geika, his second commander, had fallen in battle.
Damn it! I don't know who you are, but I'll personally put an end to all your existence.
At that moment, all the universes seemed to be frozen by the great golden energy that ran through each one of them. Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, that battle had made him change his ideals. That's right, Mikoshin killed and murdered by all the others of his queen, and that Satan was able to spare his life because he felt goodness in his heart. From now on, I'll choose my own destiny, and first I want to find who you are, Goku. Even Nin's not evil, but Yakamoto has been manipulating her for millions of years. Mikoshin would recover completely, starting to look for Son Goku in all the 12 universes. Meanwhile, the dimension which Hit had created, Goku after 1 week would wake up, being surprised to observe the warriors of Universe 6.
I'd only felt that your key, but Hit, I realized that they're all here. Don't worry, there you are, Goku. But tell me, where were you all this time?
Goku at that moment started to explain everything that had happened, even the battle with Daishanken and the 11 Destroyer Gods.
So that's why Champa wanted the power of all of us. But it's all over now, and we can relax for a moment.
Goku at that moment would change his expression to a much more serious one.
Nothing's over. Some beings which come from the angelic world want to destroy this whole universe because of the fact that I finished with Daishanken of the future.
Do we have a chance to defeat them?
Of course we have a chance to defeat them, but it won't be easy because their power's amazing. I ended up in terrible condition when I fought with their second commander. We have become very powerful with Kale, so we'll be of great help in this upcoming battle. But teach us how to reach the Super Saiyan Blue.
Goku at that moment would smile a bit.
Of course I'll train them, and we'll save all the universes.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, everyone would remember that Zeno-sama was very thoughtful and that everything had happened.
This is all very strange, since as far as I remember, Zeno-sama was the creator of the angelic realm loved by mortals. She'd never dare to do such an atrocity. I agree with you, Zeno-sama. Something very strange is happening in the upper echelons of the divine world, and we must be prepared or we'll die without putting up any resistance.
Of course we will put up resistance. If they want to take our lives, we will fight.
Meanwhile, in the angelic world, Nin was organizing an army of angels. However, in his mind, he would hear the voice of Yakamoto.
Nin, you must not use an army of angels. If you do, all the other multiverses will know of my existence and what we're planning. So just gather the 3 most powerful angels and let them go with you.
Sure, you're right. Nin at that moment would try to contact Mikoshin, however, she didn't respond to his call. Mikoshin, if you don't show up at the Angelic Palace in less than 24 hours, we'll consider you as a traitor and we'll finish you off.
I'm no longer interested in any of that. I swear I'll make you return to the way you were before. You're the most incredible genius. Don't let them manipulate you.
Meanwhile, with Beerus, he had agreed to his transformation, maximum power observing Zeno-sama and Daishanken.
This time I'll be the one to train them. We must increase our powers.
Daishanken would increase his power to the maximum, while Zeno-sama would charge to his maximum power of combat form. Beerus had access to his maximum power with the intention of training the once most powerful divine beings.
I'll not use lethal blows on you, but you must be able to endure great agony to create from your body an indestructible barrier. Understood, Beerus. We trust you.
Beerus at that moment would begin to move at an amazing speed, which seemed invisible to both deities, which tried to be on the defensive. However, at that moment, Beerus would begin to slaughter both at once. That's right, the power of Beerus was able to overcome them abysmally. However, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama at that moment were also trying to attack Beerus, but although they hit him, their blows had no effect on Beerus, who was currently the god that had surpassed all the limits of a king at all. Meanwhile, with Goku and the other warriors of Universe 6, he was training them in the same way. And since Goku was much more serious this time, he would begin his training with battles, since it was the best training for the whole body to adapt to the damage of the others, and also to possess Zenkais, while Hit was meditating to be able to unlock 100% of his killing ability. In another place of the 12 universes, the powerful Mikoshin was looking for Goku, not being able to locate him, even in his mind. Thoughts that Goku had died were passing through his mind. I don't think that powerful Saiyan who possessed Omni power will be defeated so easily. I'm sure he's still alive. Mikoshin, without giving up, would continue searching for Goku in every corner of the universe. Meanwhile, in the angelic realm, Nin was prepared to end the lives of all the beings in Zeno-sama's multiverse, including Mikoshin. In 15 minutes, the 3 Supreme Commanders and I will head to the multiverse of Zeno-sama to finish with every scum of that place. After 15 minutes, Nin and his 3 commanders were about to leave. However, the most powerful commander of all would speak.
Nin-sama, but if even Mikoshin had been overshadowed by that Saiyan, we the 3 Supreme Commanders have thought of merging.
I think that's an excellent idea. Of course you can do it. At that moment, a great pentagram would appear all over the place, and the 3 Supreme Commanders would begin to merge. After a great roar, a new warrior could be observed who had an intimidating appearance.
I am the result of the fusion of the 3 Supreme Commanders. We're ready to finish with all the trash of Zeno-sama's multiverse.
We'll even finish off Mikoshin if she's still alive, since she's a traitor. Nin and that subject named Archon began to fly through all the space-time, crossing each of the megaversal barriers of the multiverses. After a few minutes of traveling, they had reached their destination. However, time in the angelic realm passed in a very different way. While in that place it was only 15 minutes, in the multiverse of Zeno-sama, months and even years had passed, in which everyone had increased their powers in an amazing way. And in the same way, Mikoshin had resigned himself to find Goku, since he didn't feel any essence of his power and believed that he had already perished. Flashback. Apparently, Son Goku did die in that battle, but it doesn't matter. And then I'll take his place and avenge him. When all this is over, I'll use the Super Dragon Balls to bring him back to life. And at that moment, Mikoshin started with his great training in part of the 12 universes. And flashback. That power is that of Nin-sama, and apparently she's accompanied by a very powerful being that even equal in his power, but I have trained very hard, so I'm sure I could deal with that power. Mikoshin would begin to move through all the universes at an amazing speed, being able to quickly reach the planet of Beerus, realizing that Nin and the subject had not yet arrived. However, the moment Mikoshin would reach the planet of Beerus, everyone would be on guard.
Have you come to finish us off? Let me tell you that we have become very powerful, and we won't be an easy prey that you could just humiliate. Mikoshin-sama, I admired you as well as Nin-sama. I don't know what happened to you, but you were the goddess who loved life.
Mikoshin at that moment would begin to explain everything that had happened since the battle with that Saiyan. However, at that precise moment, both subjects had arrived to the planet of Beerus, which, in spite of being the most resistant planet among the 12 gods, began to be destroyed by the simple pressure that both warriors released. So, my suspicions were true. The only thing you did was to betray us. Now your betrayal will be paid with death. I want your head in my palace. Nin, please react. You're not this person. Someone's using you, and you're not able to react. You are the most powerful genius of all the multiverses. Nin at that moment would throw herself against Mikoshin without caring what she said. In that instant, both goddesses began to exchange blows for all the universes. That's right, Mikoshin, being a prodigy, was able to reach a new power in a few months, being able to even equal Nin, who was a prodigy but had never dedicated herself to training. Damn, I can't believe you have the same power as me. But even with that, you won't be able to defeat me since the only way will be for you to end my life. Meanwhile, with Archon, the fusion was observing the three subjects with a very serious look. At that moment, without wasting time, Daishinkan would raise his power to the maximum, making everything around him rumble. Zeno-sama would not be left behind, since at that moment, he would begin with his great transformation, which at this moment was extremely incredible, having increased in an unreal way his power.
No matter what you do, you'll never be able to defeat me. The difference in power is like heaven and earth. No matter if you're a god or even an angelic being, we'll not give you our lives without a fight.
Beerus at that moment would likewise begin to increase his power to the maximum, leaving Archon a little surprised by the power that Beerus was emanating.
The power of that cat's amazing. But even so, they won't be able to take me down, although it will be a difficult battle.
Beerus at that moment had also finished with his transformation, and at that instant, the three warriors had launched themselves in a savage way against Archon, starting to exchange blows as well. While Beerus and Daishinkan attacking together, Zeno-sama, who possessed the energy to eliminate a king altogether, he only launched attacks from a distance with the intention of finishing with a single attack. His coordination was perfect, being able to even put the powerful angelic in a few predicaments. Meanwhile, in the dimension of Hit, everyone had finished their training. However, the beings that stood out the most were Goku and Hit, which had increased their power in an amazing way.
Hit, your assassination techniques are amazing, and with your time jump improved to 1 minute 15 seconds is deadly. No being would be able to withstand it.
No being? Then tell me how you're able to surpass my time jump. You're the only warrior that, despite using my maximum power, I could never even scratch him.
Goku at that moment would give a big smile.
I don't know, Hit, but it's time to get out of this place. I feel that the final battle is closer than we imagined.
It's okay, Goku.
While Kale, Khalifa, and Kaba, the three Saiyans in the same way, had increased their power in an amazing way, being able to access the Ultra Instinct without a problem, at that moment, he would create again his technique to be able to leave that place. However, at the moment of leaving, all of them would feel some incredible powers coming from the Beerus planet.
This is not a training. The power of Beerus, Daishinkan, and Zeno-sama is at its limit. It seems that the battle's still going on.
I better go help everyone else.
No, Hit! Let them reach their limit. Of course we won't let them die, but they must fight for their survival.
Returned to the battlefield, both battles were very evenly matched, or so they thought. Since both angelic ones were not using the power of Yakamoto, which was a forbidden power that in exchange for an amazing power, they kept their essence every time they used it.
Master, lend me some of your power for me and Archon. I can't stand that these damned ones have the same power as us.
Of course, Nin, as you asked for it.
At that moment, an amazing power began to enter the body of both deities, which on this occasion had a great advantage. In a matter of seconds, the balance had changed drastically, since the power of the warriors had increased in an amazing way, beginning to massacre them.
What the hell happened? Where were they able to get more power from?
Archon, in a matter of seconds, had been able to leave Zeno-sama and Daishinkan on the brink of death. At that moment, Archon would begin to exchange blows with Beerus, which was the most powerful after Mikoshin. However, despite having all that great power, he was not able to face Archon. After only 5 more minutes of battle, Beerus would fall to the ground on the brink of death in the same manner.
They don't have enough power to finish this off.
At that moment, Mikoshin had fallen to the ground badly wounded. Meanwhile, with Goku and the others, Goku at that moment would switch to Ultra Instinct. With a serious look, he would observe Hit.
I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Hit at that moment would use Time Jump, being able to stop time for about 1 minute. At that moment, Goku at an amazing speed would get in front of everyone who were about to die by a large sphere of angelic energy. However, when time would return to normal, Goku had been able to disintegrate that great attack with only one of his hands.
But how the hell were they able to do this? They have no energy!
But Archon was able to notice a new subject, informing Nin.
So, a new protector. Now we'll finish you off too.
Goku at that moment, with his great speed, he would stand next to Nin, watching her closely. Archon, furious because he had been completely ignored, would direct a strong blow which Goku, with one of his hands, had stopped it, and in the same way had sent him flying with hundreds of wounds all over his body. I feel a strange energy inside of you. Apparently a powerful being is taking advantage of you. Don't say stupid things. You're a simple Saiyan that I don't understand what we angelic beings are. Angelic beings or not, you're imbeciles who have let yourselves be used by a being that is only the thing he needed was your existence to access his maximum power. Nin and Archon at that moment rushed against Goku, but to everyone's surprise, Goku had left them out of combat with a few blows. At that moment, Goku would stretch out one of his hands, transmitting a part of his power to each one of them, and would stare at Mikoshin. I knew that inside you there was a goodness. You never let yourself be completely manipulated by that thing. Thank you very much for giving me another chance. I'm getting better every day. At that moment, an incredible power would be felt all over that place. That's right, Yakamoto had absorbed enough essence from all the beings who were asking for his power. Your worthy rival. Today I'll finish with all of you and I'll become the only supreme being. That's only if you manage to finish me off. Only if you manage to finish us off. At that moment, Hit would also begin to increase his power to the maximum, making everything around him tremble, and Goku would agree to his Omni transformation since he felt the bestial power of the guy who was in front of them. Goku and Hit had increased their power to the maximum. Without another word, they launched themselves against Yamato, who, to everyone's surprise, had the necessary power to stop those two blows of an amazing power, with which they were capable of eliminating universes.
I can't believe it. I never knew of the existence of a god above the angelic god Zeno-sama. This is amazing, but I'll never stay behind anyone. I also have trained very hard. God of Universe 7 Beerus, the king of everything, and I will give you all your power so that you'll be able to also help them in this great battle.
At that moment, an amazing power would begin to access the whole body of Beerus, which had been filled with an amazing divine power. Accessing his transformation with a great speed and strong blow would send Yakamoto to fly, which was not able to observe such a bestial attack. Beerus, so you've increased your power as well. That's amazing.
Not only you have done it, I've also trained in the power of Zeno-sama and Daishiken-sama, so I'm not allowed to lose that because of that. How interesting it is to observe how the three most powerful beings of the universe unite against me, and even with that, they're not able to make a scratch on me.
At that moment, Hit would use his time jumping technique, except for Goku and Beerus, so that both of them would attack in that time opening. However, Yakamoto had so much power that he was able to fight through space and time, which would surprise Hit.
If we don't put an end to your existence today, we're condemning all the beings of the other universes. I, as a legendary assassin, will be in charge of putting an end to you.
Hit at that moment, in the same way, at a great speed would join in the attack, which despite being 3 against 1, Yakamoto would still have a great advantage, since he dodged each of their blows, being able to even connect blows with left of them very badly wounded. What the hell's going on? How's it possible that he's defeating us if we're 3 against 1? The battle would continue for a few more minutes, in which Mikoshin would be amazed at the power that the 3 warriors had, while Nin and Archon were out of combat as a brutal mental power released them. So this is the true power of Son Goku. I can't believe it. But he himself didn't seem to be able to end the life of that guy. At that moment, Nin would be the first one awake with a severe headache. What happened? Where am I? I feel like I've been asleep for 1,000,000 years. I don't remember anything. Nin-sama, are you alright? Mikoshin, long time no see. Of course I'm fine, but where are we? Mikoshin, noticing that Nin seemed not to remember anything what had happened, began to explain to him everything that had happened with every detail, and he was very surprised. So that bastard's been using me. I can't believe it. I'll never forgive him. At that moment, that Nin would leave the energy field, he'd fall to the ground because the pressure of the battle was overwhelming. So much, even the powerful Nin was not able to stand up in front of these great pressures. I'm not going to do nothing. That Saiyan, he looks so much like Akumo, the first Supreme Saiyan of our clan, so I'll trust him. Akumo? I've never heard of a Supreme Saiyan in the angelic world.
Akuma's time was millions of years ago, but the whole clan respects Akuma's descendants. As far as I could tell, this Saiyan has a great resemblance. Mikoshi would be surprised to learn that Goku was a descendant of such a powerful being. Nin at that moment would begin to communicate with his entire clan telepathically. Beings of all the angelic realm, the descendants of Akuma need our help. An extremely evil being is about to destroy everything, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but even I'm not capable of defeating him. Only him, but he needs our help. At that moment, hundreds of thousands of energies began to move through all the universes. That's right, the beings of the angelic realm of each universe began to transmit a great power to Goku, who, while he was fighting, felt like he was getting heavier and heavier while his strength increased in an unreal way. So this is the power of all the universes' angelic world. I won't let you down. Goku at that moment would communicate telepathically with Beerus and Hit. Guys, please resist. I need to assimilate all this power and be ready to finish with that wretch once and for all. Goku at that moment would begin to increase his power in an amazing way, which seemed to have no limit. In a moment, a being in front of him would appear, however, it was inside his mind.
So you're my offspring, but you need much more power. You need to return to Super Saiyan Phase 4 and combine it with your divine power to the maximum, since that state's known as Berserker and is capable of withstanding great amounts of energy.
Goku at that moment would understand everything Akuma said, and starting to increase his power, accessing Super Saiyan Phase 4, an amazing power was releasing Goku's body. Even all the universes were shaking from such power. After a few moments, a gigantic roar similar to the beast that had made every corner of the angelic realm and every universe rumble. Even Yakamoto had felt great terror.
What the hell is this? The mighty god slaughters trembling for a mere mortal. This must be a fucking nightmare.
At that moment, Goku finished his transformation. His form was very similar to the Ultra Instinct. While he was in Super Saiyan Phase 4, Goku at that moment would stare at Yakamoto, who was torturing both warriors. Goku, with a very cold look, would move at an amazing speed with which no one was able to observe, would grant him a great blow in the part of the abdomen, which would make him spit a great amount of blood.
What the hell? How were you able to cause me so much damage with a single blow?
Yakamoto, without recovering from the blow, had launched himself against Goku, which this time was not able to cause any scratches to him. However, Goku was amazed by the power he had, and even Yakamoto would increase his power much more.
Don't think that was all my power. I've dominated the entire angelic realm for millions of years, so I have a great reserves of energy.
Yakamoto at that moment would increase his power, with which millions of planets around him would be destroyed. The power was so much that even the barrier that Goku had put at the beginning began to be destroyed. Goku, noticing this, would stretch one of his hands, with which he would regenerate it completely. Goku, don't let him access his maximum power. This could be bad. I don't know exactly how much power he has stolen from the angelic realm. Don't worry, Nin. No matter how much power he stole, he won't be enough to finish me off. Yakamoto, after about 3 minutes of increasing his power to the maximum, he could look much more confident.
I appreciate your patience in allowing me to access my maximum power. Now die.
Yakamoto at that moment was able to hit him with a blow, which would send him to fly to Goku. But he would not finish his attack since Yakamoto would begin to crash Goku with each star, planet that crossed around him. Even great energy attacks, which had the power to finish the universe, were launched into Goku's body. After a few minutes in which Goku had received each of Yakamoto's blow, Goku would stand up.
Now it's my turn, don't you think? I must confess that you have great resistance. No being would be able to withstand all those blows.
Goku at that moment at lightning speed would begin to attack Yakamoto, who did not believe that the power of his fists would be so much. That's right, Goku's power had also increased because every moment that passed, the battle his body was adapting the power of all the other beings. Goku at that moment would begin to exchange blows with Yakamoto, in which in the exchange of blows, felt like his arms were trembling due to the power. However, Goku from one moment to another would increase much more of his speed, with which he was able to give a beating to Yakamoto, which would leave him flying on the ground and spitting blood. But all of those present were astonished. Not even with his hidden power was he able to face Goku. I can't believe it.
Lord Goku has become truly powerful. He's capable of taking Yakamoto's life without any effort.
We trust you, Goku. Finish him off and bring peace to all the universes.
Thank you for your words, my friends. This victory is dedicated to each of you.
I've not lost yet. I'll not lose to a simple Saiyan.
Yakamoto, you never had a chance against me. Now it's time to end your existence.
Goku at that moment began to exchange blows at a high speed with Yakamoto, but this time, Yakamoto is no longer able to do anything against Goku, which this time had achieved a power that even surpassed the entire angelic realm.
The day of your death has arrived. You manipulated millions of beings in exchange for their power, but not even with that power were you able to face me. You're a scum.
Goku at that moment would grant him a powerful blow, which would send him flying. Without wasting time, he would change one of his most powerful attacks.
Receive this! Hit of the Punisher Dragon!
An immense dragon would begin to destroy the whole body of Yakamoto, who was screaming in agony. However, after a few minutes, the dragon, as its name said, punished its victim. That's right, Yakamoto has been pulverized by such a bestial attack. However, all the universes were in complete chaos.
I'll not let the entire multiverse explode. With the power I will restore each of the time rifts that have been created.
Goku at that moment, with a loud roar, had released both hands of the Ozaru form, which were beginning to close each of the cracks his battle had caused against Yakamoto. Those present were observed, surprised at such a feat part of Goku.
This is amazing! Not even the Dragon God Zama was able to stop such imminent destruction of the 12 universes.
After a few minutes, in which Goku had spent every drop of his energy repairing each of the cracks, he would return to his base state, badly wounded and on the verge of death due to the great energy he used.
Controlling all the cracks in space-time exhausted me. It hurt me much more than fighting against that named Yakamoto.
In that instant, everyone would approach Goku, while Mikoshin and Nin, with their great celestial power, made Goku recover. After a few hours, Goku had completely recovered. When Mikoshin and Nin released the excess energy to his spiritual sea, Goku would stand up with a big smile.
So finally, now it's over apparently.
Lord Goku, I find your power a little hard to believe, but you three, Hit, Killer, God Beerus, and you, Lord Goku, we owe you our lives.
Goku, Hit, Beerus, you're welcome to join the Angelic Elite Squad.
That's right, you three will be able to be general commanders and your word will have the same value as mine.
I refuse after everything that happened. I want to return to my planet and spend time with my family.
I want to keep my position as God Destroyer of Universe 7.
I accept. I'll be the protector of every being of the 12 universes, and my squadron will be called the Death Squad.
Everyone on Beerus' planet would give a big laugh at the name of Hit Squadron.
Thank you for all of us trusting us. We have finally been able to wipe out every being that was evil in the universe.
With every evil being, I doubt it very much, since in every corner there will always be beings that overwhelm you in power. Needs right, so let's not give up our training in order to be prepared in the case something appears.
In that moment, everyone would accept and each being would have dispersed back to its planet, galaxy, or universe. It was a normal day in the life of the inhabitants of planet Earth. People were eating in restaurants, walking with their families. There were children playing when suddenly a giant lightning bolt was seen in the sky that caused a strong movement throughout the Earth's surface. Buildings collapsed. People could not stand up. Windows exploded. All this resulted in car accidents and injuries. At the moment, a child was going to be pierced by a giant glass that fell from a building. Very close by, we see how a being that we cannot distinguish who it is flies through the skies at great speed, rescuing people who were in danger due to the strong movement. At the precise moment when the child was about to die, that being rescues him, seeing how a huge piece of glass explodes against the ground. We see how this hooded being stands up from behind, revealing that it was none other than Goku, who had been hidden for a long time because Daishinkan and the angels wanted to see him dead. Goku, with a different appearance than the one we all know, after rescuing the boy, is amazed by the energy that emerges from the earth to the sky. We can see how Vegeta arrives at the place where Goku is together with the Z Warriors, who were still saving people from the disaster. Vegeta looks at Goku face to face and says,
Kakarot, insect, where have you been all this time?
At that moment, Gohan and Goten arrive and tell him,
Dad, where have you been?
"What happened to you, father?" All this happened while Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Android 18 were rescuing the people affected by the movement. After having finished saving them, they arrive to where they are reunited with Goku and look at him very surprised. In a head-to-toe scan, we can see Goku's face very emaciated, with wounds and pronounced cheekbones because he had not tasted any kind of food for a long time. At that moment, we go back in time about 20 years ago. We see how Goku and his son Goten are walking together in the forest. Goku, talking to his son, says,
Hey, Goten, are you ready to fish today?
to which Goten replies,
Yes, Dad. Will you show me the fastest way to catch them?
Goku, happy for his son's enthusiasm, replies,
Of course, Goten, but this time I'm going to try something different. Watch this.
Goku dives into the water and after a short time comes out with a big jump with a huge fish moving on his hands. Goten, very surprised, says to his father,
Wow, Dad, how did you do that?
Goku, showing a very happy expression, says,
When I was little like you, Goten, I had to find my own food in order to live. You should try to give it a try.
Goten, very excited, says to his father,
I'll try.
And so Goten dives into the water to the joyful sight of his father, to which, on the first attempt, Goten fails to catch any fish. Seeing Goten's sad face, Goku encourages his son, saying,
Don't worry, Goten. It's a matter of practice and patience. The key is to be quick and not scare the fish.
So Goten dives in again, but this time it takes a long time to come out. When suddenly Goku feels a very powerful ki very close to where he was. Because of this, Goku worried about his son's dives in search of him. Once in the water, he sees Goten fainted and next to him a very strange artifact. Goku, worried about the state in which he found his son, swims to rescue him. At the moment, he was about to lift his son in his arms, ready to go to the surface. The strange artifact begins to emit a very sharp sound that only Goku hears. Wu, with a face of confusion and pain, tries to lift his son, but suddenly the artifact comes off the ground and permeates his chest. Once on his chest, the artifact stops emitting that strange sound and Goku stops feeling the ki of a moment ago. Goku does not take importance to what had happened to him and worried about his son. He lifts him up to get him out of the water. Once outside, Goku puts his son on the ground to revive him, but suddenly an unknown being appeared to him. This being had a greenish coat, blue hair with black tips, and it was a very strange appearance. But it did not seem to be something real. It looked like an illusion. Goku, upon realizing this being, became alert and put his son in good protection. After that, addressing the being, he asks him,
Who are you? What do you want here?
This being, without uttering a word, rushes at high speed towards Goku, who in an act of reflex manages to dodge the first blow. But the speed of the stranger exceeds him by far. Because of that, after dodging the first blow, the unknown being lunges with a kick to the head, which Goku barely manages to block, leaving his stomach exposed, where he takes the opportunity to impact a direct punch, automatically leaving Goku out of air, and thus returns to lunge with a blow to the nape of the neck. Goku, when he was about to lose consciousness, hears a voice in the distance that says, "Apparently this is my best guest that could touch me," saying this in a sarcastic way. "I hope my colleagues are in good condition." After hearing these words, Goku faints. A few minutes after the fleeting confrontation, Goku regains consciousness and realizing that the unknown being was no longer in the place, he looks for Goten, and when he finds him, he begins to unexpectedly and repeatedly call his name to make him react. Seeing that calling him had no effect, he feels his breathing and notices that he was almost not breathing. He creates an energy sphere in his hand and places it on Goten's chest. Once Goten revives the energy from his father, he reacts and spurts water from his mouth. Goten, with a puzzled expression, asks his father what had happened, to which Goku says, "I have the same question for you. What happened?" Goten tells him that at the precise moment he was about to capture the fish, he felt attracted to the artifact, which also tried to impregnate in his chest. At the time, Goten felt a strong source of energy that ran through every part of his body, which was very difficult to control, and felt how that strange energy weakened him until he lost consciousness and fainted. Goku had his thoughts, and that he also felt the same strange and very powerful energy running through his body, and worried about his son, asked him if he still felt that energy inside him. Goku calmly and a little puzzled told him no, that he only felt that when the artifact was trying to permeate him. While this was happening on Earth, Whis and Beerus went to the Kingdom of Everything to talk to Daishoken, since they had noticed him very tense and worried. Once they were already in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishoken appears with a very serious expression, while Whis and Beerus bow to him to show respect. Daishoken, relieved to see that Whis and Beerus were with him, tells them something very strange and dangerous is about to happen. Whis, with a puzzled expression, asks, "What is it, father? We'd noticed a certain tension in the air as we reached the realm of the whole." Beerus, yawning without realizing the seriousness of the fright, says to him, "Trouble again? What could be so dangerous to make Daishoken so worried?" "Serious? And worried, the High Priest?" To which Daishoken replies, "Yes, I'm afraid so. A powerful entity has resurfaced, once we have not faced in a long time." Whis, with a very serious expression, says to him, "An unknown entity? Could it be one of the beings we left sealed away long ago?" "It is possible, Whis. Its energies are as dark as they are disconcerting. I cannot identify the source with certainty, but its power is overwhelming." Beerus, frowning, says, "Why should I worry about it? If it's that strong, I'll go and destroy it." Daishoken, with a very serious expression, explains, "It's not that simple, Lord Beerus. This entity seems to have the ability to change even the most ancient gods. We cannot underestimate it." Whis thoughtfully asks his father, "How do you suggest we deal with this situation, father?" "We need to gather information before we act rashly. Whis, Beerus, I trust you with the task of investigating. Find out all you can about this entity and any weaknesses it may have." Beerus, smiling confidently, exclaimed, "Good, good. A little action won't hurt." Nodding, Whis replies, "We will be on our way, Daishoken, but be aware that if this entity threatens our universe, we will not hesitate to take drastic measures." "I understand, Whis. May wisdom guide your actions, and may you return with the information we need." After that conversation, Whis and Beerus depart for the hitherto unknown destination, while Daishoken watches with concern, aware of the gravity of the situation looming in the realm of everything. As they were on their way back to Earth to ask for Goku and Vegeta's help, Whis recalls that when they were on their way to the realm of everything, he sensed a very strong and dangerous ki on planet Earth. Halfway through his quest in the universe, he stops and, confused, Beerus says to Whis, "What's wrong? Why are you stopping?" Whis, very serene, says to Beerus, "Oh, my dear Lord Beerus, it turns out on our way to the realm of everything, I detected a rather intriguing presence." Yawning, Beerus asks, "A mysterious entity? We didn't need to get any of what Daishoken told us." Whis, with a nervous smile, replies, "Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. This time it doesn't seem to be a direct threat. I just felt a fleeting flash of power, something that crossed our path." Beerus frowns at Whis. "And you didn't give it any importance? Isn't that what Daishoken was talking about?" "Well, the truth is, I didn't consider it an immediate threat. It was like a flash of power energy, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. It didn't seem to have any hostile intentions." Beerus, thinking about the situation, asks, "So what shall we do then? Does Daishoken want us to investigate something like this?" "Yes, but I think the best option is to go ahead with our main mission, to find out what the entity has surfaced. The fleeting presence may be a mere detail compared to what awaits us." So Whis and Beerus went on their way through the universe, looking for the entity Daishoken mentioned without giving so much importance to what happened on Earth. Back on Earth, the precise moment Goku rescued his son Goten, Goku, confused by what had happened to his son and the strange artifact that had impregnated in his chest, told Goten, "Let's go home immediately." As they flew on their way home, Goku tries to sense Vegeta's ki so he could teleport with him, as soon as he left his son with his mother Chi-Chi. At that moment, we see how Vegeta was already gathered by the Z Warriors, Krillin, Android 18, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaos, Gohan, Future Trunks, and Master Roshi, who were talking about the strong and dark energy they had felt. Goku and Goten arrive home, and his mother, worried because they had taken a long time to return, runs to Goten and says, "Goten, son, are you alright?" To which Goten replies, "Don't worry, Mom, we're fine." Chi-Chi raises her head to Goku and notices that he's very serious. She lowers her gaze a little and notices the strange artifact he had on his chest. Chi-Chi asks him, "Goku, what's that you have there? Are you alright?" Goku immediately changes his expression with a fake smile reply. "Oh, don't worry. It's nothing important." Chi-Chi in a very insistent way, "Goku, don't fool me. What happened?" "This thing I have on my chest. This very strange artifact I have on my chest. Well, it's a strange artifact, but I'm fine, really. I'm going to find out what it is and we'll get on with our lives." Chi-Chi, worried about Goku, hugs him and says, "Promise me you'll come back, Goku." To which Goku, with a smile, answers her yes. While he was about to make the teleportation, Goku says goodbye, saying to Goten, "Take care of your mother. I'll be right back." He teleports. Moments before Goku arrived to meeting the Z Warriors, as they were at Bulma's house, they were talking about what they had felt a moment ago. Vegeta, with a very serious expression, asks,
Did anyone else feel that dark energy? I can't identify it, but it's disturbing.
Piccolo, frowning, replies,
Yes, I felt it. It's as if it disappeared immediately as soon as we felt it. Something's not right.
Gohan, very worried, says,
Dad, Goten are with my mother. We should look for them.
At that moment, Goku appears in front of them through teleportation and says very seriously,
Guys, I felt a strange presence. Something happened with Goten, but I rescued him.
Piccolo, analyzing everything that happened, notices something strange on Goku's body and asks him,
Goku, what's that artifact on your chest?
That's what I want to find out.
But before that,
I need to tell you something.
to everyone's expectant and uncertain gaze, he says,
The strange energy you felt came from this artifact in my chest.
Vegeta frowns and asks,
How's it possible? Does that device emit that energy?
Goku, somewhat worried, nods and says,
It seems so. The moment I rescued Goten, this artifact permeated my chest, and I began to feel an incredible amount of pressure coursing through every part of my body.
Piccolo, thinking about everything Goku was telling them, asks,
And how did it get in your chest?
The artifact was underwater right next to Goten, who had fainted. As soon as I was approaching it, it emitted a very sharp sound that didn't allow me to get close to Goten. Despite that, I managed to get close, and out of nowhere, it jumped in front of my chest to stay there. After everything that had happened with Goten, I tried to take it off, but when I did it again, it came back to permeate my chest. We must find out what this artifact is and why it has such a great amount of power. I'm counting on you.
Vegeta, determined, says,
Let's do it. We won't let any threat catch us off guard.
Future Trunks earnestly tells everyone,
I agree. Together, we'll figure out what's going on.
Goku thanks all his friends for the support they were giving him, but at that moment he changes his joyful expression to one of seriousness, as he remembered what had happened just before he lost consciousness. Gohan, noticing the sudden change in his father's expression, asks him,
Dad, what's wrong? Is there anything else you must tell us?
Vegeta adds,
Insect, you're not hiding anything from us, are you?
Goku remembered what had happened at that moment. With an expression of concern and anguish, he tells them about the fight he had with an unknown being, which exceeds his strength by far. And he remembers that the entity mentioned that he had colleagues that he had hoped would be alright. Piccolo, with fear but serene, says to Goku,
Are you sure of what you're saying? For what you are telling us is very dangerous. If he surpasses your strength by far, in that case we wouldn't stand a chance against him. We'd be a hindrance rather than a support, Goku.
Goku, after hearing that, tells him what he felt in the confrontation.
The moment the unknown being appeared, I felt the same amount and type of power and the dark ki that ran through my body as the strange artifact permeated my chest.
As soon as Goku finished telling what had happened, as soon as he got out of the water, Piccolo came up with an idea. It wasn't that far-fetched, but he could explain what the strange artifact was and why he was facing the unknown being. Piccolo, observing the artifact, turns to Goku saying,
This looks familiar. It may be like a containment urn, like the ones we used at the Mafuba to seal powerful beings.
Surprised Goku,
Really, Piccolo? Do you think this could be something like that?
Krillin, looking at the artifact,
An artifact like this one, used with the Mafuba on Goku's chest? Since when did battles become so complicated? There's always something new with you Saiyans.
Master Roshi, somewhat excited, but at the same time serious, exclaimed,
Mafuba! I remember when we sealed King Piccolo with that. Do you think Goku has such a strong enemy inside?
Future Trunks, analyzing what had happened, says,
It makes sense. The Mafuba urns are powerful devices to contain evil energies.
Could this artifact have sealed something?
I don't care if it's from the Mafuba or anywhere else. I just want to know how to get rid of this thing once and for all. It's a possibility. The urns we use to keep very strong enemies under control, but why did it attach yourself to Goku?
I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this energy is linked to a very powerful entity.
Whatever it is, if it's linked to that artifact, we cannot underestimate it. So, what do you plan to do, Kakarot?
At that moment, the Kaio-sama of the North telepathically communicates with Goku to tell him that he had information about the powerful energy that they felt and the mysterious artifact that permeated his chest. Kaio-sama tells him to get to his planet quickly.
First, we need information. Kaio-sama has information about this artifact and the being that might be inside it. We must go to Kaio-sama so we can find out what we're dealing with.
Vegeta nods and Goku continues.
Exactly, but first, I need your help. If there are any more entities like this, the Earth could be in danger. And with this connection to the artifact, I could put them at risk. Therefore, I'll only go to Kaio-sama to get the information to get rid of this artifact.
Kakarot, don't even think that you'll do this alone. I'll go with you, insect. I can't accept that you become stronger than me.
Goku accepts and asks him to put his hand on his shoulder. Once Goku and Vegeta left, the Z-Warriors sensed unknown presences on the planet, so they split into groups and flew off at high speed to go investigate. With the re-evaluation that the artifact at Goku's chest might be like a containment urn, similar to those used in Mafuba, the Z-Warriors faced an increasingly complex and dangerous situation. Uncertainty about what such an artifact contains and how it is connected to the mysterious dark energy fills them with worry. While Goku and Vegeta were to where Kaio-sama and the Z-Warriors went to investigate the unknown presences they had detected in space, Whis and Beerus, after having traversed much of space, felt a strong amount of dark energy, so they immediately head to where it was. As they are about to reach the source of the dark energy, the pressure in the air becomes more intense as they get closer, and the unknown entity awaits their arrival.
Why do I feel like this is going to be more complicated than we thought?
Mr. Beerus, the information we gain here could be crucial to understanding the threat we face on Earth.
The unknown entity, surrounded by a dark aura, reveals itself in front of Whis and Beerus. Its presence is overwhelming and a sinister laugh echoes in space. Unknown entity mockingly welcomes them, saying,
I expected your arrival. You took longer than I expected. Do not underestimate the gods. We're here to stop any threat that endangers our universe.
Before any confrontation, can you tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Oh, that's funny. I'm known as Ryuk, disciple of the Devourer of Worlds. I have come to free the Master, the most powerful being who ever lived.
The expression on Whis' and Beerus' faces become much more serious upon hearing Raiku's name.
Raikou, a name rings a bell.
Raikou is an ancient threat, Lord Beerus. His master, he and the other disciples were sealed away a millennia ago due to his unquenchable thirst for power and destruction.
So it looks like we have a problem. This time it won't be as easy sealing him again.
The space fills with palpable tension as Ryuk, surrounded by a dark and malevolent aura, confronts Whis and Beerus. The dark energy emanating from him seems to distort the very fabric of space around him.
Problem, you say? You are correct, little god. The Master has been patiently awaiting your release, and now with my arrival, that time has finally come.
Beerus moves into combat stance with a determined expression on his face, while Whis remains composed but alert.
I have no time for games. If your master is a threat, we'll stop you here and now.
Tell us more about your master. Understanding his motivations might help us find a peaceful solution.
Ryuk chuckles mischievously, revealing his sharp fangs, then disappears in a dark flash before reappearing behind Beerus with astonishing speed.
There's nothing they can do to stop the Master's inevitable resurgence. But before that, they could entertain me.
The battle begins. Ryuk throws a swift punch towards Beerus, but the Destroyer guy nimbly dodges and responds with an energy punch that Ryuk blocks easily. Meanwhile, Whis watches carefully, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Ryuk's speed is impressive, but Beerus manages to keep up. They exchange blows and energy blasts in a combat that seems to defy the laws of space itself. Ryuk's dark energy distorts reality around him, making its impact more dangerous and intense.
Lord Beerus, Your speed is amazing, but that dark energy is problematic. I suggest you be careful with your movements.
Beerus nods as he dodges an enemy attack and counterattacks with an energy wave. Ryuk, undeterred, vanishes and reappears in front of Whis, challenging him to enter the fight.
And you, assistant of the god, will you dare to face me?
Whis smiles serenely and disappears in a flash, only to reappear behind Ryuk. I have no intention of fighting, but if that's what you wish. Before Whis finishes his sentence, Ryuk turns around and launches his fierce attack towards him. Whis, with his extraordinary speed, dodges each blow with grace. Space convulsed with the fury of the cosmic confrontation between Whis, Beerus, and Ryuk. Each move shattered reality itself. As Ryuk's dark energy and the god's divine blast intertwined in a demonstration of opposing forces, Ryuk, his ominous figure shrouded in a dark aura, moved with breathtaking speed. His sinister left echoed through the emptiness of space, challenging the gods who faced him.
This guy's faster than I thought.
As Beerus' words fade away, Ryuk disappears in the blink of an eye and reappears in front of him with a punch charged with dark energy. Beerus manages to block the attack, but the force of impact sends shockwaves through space. Ryuk breaks away from Beerus with a smirk, and in a flash lunges towards Whis. His movements were fluid. Whis, on the other hand, moves gracefully, dodging each blow with the grace of a cosmic dancer. This dark power is intriguing, but it is out of balance. Ryuk, frustrated by Whis' evasive ability, concentrates his dark energy in his hands and launches it as a flare. Whis responds by creating an energy barrier, but the resulting collision sends shockwaves through space, shaking nearby stars. Beerus takes advantage of Ryuk's distraction and lunges at him with a punch charged with divine energy. Ryuk blocks the blow, but the resulting force causes an explosion that creates the ephemeral supernova in the cosmos. The fight continues with unmatched speed. Ryuk demonstrates his skill in anticipating the gods' moves, while Beerus and Whis unleash their divine power to counter the darkness that threatens to engulf them. In a moment of pause, Ryuk grins mischievously and his dark aura begins to intensify. A transformation was underway. The darkness concentrates around his body, forming a sort of dark cocoon that breaks, revealing a transformed figure. Now Ryuk has evolved. His previous form pales in comparison to the manifestation of his current power. His figure has become more imposing, with twisted shadows dancing around him as if they were extensions of his own essence. Sharp fangs glow with dark radiance, and his eyes emit a malevolent light.
Ha ha ha! This is just a glimpse of my true power.
Beerus and Whis exchange a worried glance. The pressure in the air becomes even more intense. Ryuk, now in his transformation form, launches himself towards the gods with outstanding speed. Beerus tries to counterattack with a sphere of divine energy, but Ryuk dodges each projectile with ease, moving through the bursts of light with supernatural agility. Meanwhile, Whis stands in reverse, watching the fight with analytical eyes. In a quick blink, Ryuk appears in front of Beerus and unleashes a series of vicious blows. The sonic sounds of punches and echoes kicked through space as the gods and devourer of worlds disciple plunge into a frenzy of combat. Beerus, struggling to keep up with Ryuk's speed, takes a direct punch to the stomach that sends him drifting into space. Before he can recover, however, Ryuk lunges at him and blasts him with a barrage of blows. The situation becomes even more complicated when Ryuk, in a ruthless act, concentrates dark energy in his hand and drives it through Beerus' abdomen. The Destroyer God lets out a roar of pain as darkness spreads from the point of impact. Whis, seeing the stark reality, springs into action. His figure flashes in space as he stands in front of Ryuk, blocking his attacks.
I cannot allow you to harm my lord in this way.
Whis' divine energy collides with Ryuk's darkness in a show of cosmic power. The battle intensifies and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance as the confrontation between light and darkness reaches its climax. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the devourer of worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up. Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction. Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis's, creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The destroyer god sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the destroyer god. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict. Do you have anything to say, Ryuk? Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the high priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The sphere of divine containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishenka continued to explain the importance of keeping the sphere of divine containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishenkin shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the sphere of divine containment. Daishenkin, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Zeno-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Kaio-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Kaio-sama with serious and determined expressions. Kaio-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Kaio-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Kaio-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground. humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, three warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the three warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun. "I don't know who you are, but will not allow you to harm our planet!" Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black, malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield. Kaizen! In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control? The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden. The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Zeno-sama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt. Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat! We need time to deal with this!
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchmen, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception. It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them. Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami,
sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut.
Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said,
More gods? This sounds very dangerous, and it's exciting.
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans.
Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?
Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans.
Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!
Come on, God of Darkness, show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness!
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified, and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added,
Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting.
Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances.
Vegeta, it's time to go further.
Of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. The cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better.
Of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning.
Ah!
A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do? Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the Evolved Blue Super Saiyan.
Are they taking each other seriously now?
Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact.
His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang Attack! Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong. We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No! I haven't taken complete control yet!
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form, but now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Baomut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing, was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Baomut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami. Of course, Kakarot, but first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Baomut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Baomut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyan's fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan, Chaos!
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Ten Shinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Ten Shinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Ten Shinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. Ha 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 ha! But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile. though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination. Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed this situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta! Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors. Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable! The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you. Let's defeat this enemy together. In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves. Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined. In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. the battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds. "Gah! This can't be so strong!" Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! We can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes. "Brother, are you alright?"
Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it. "I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him."
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured. Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield. creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants. And each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended. "You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring!" Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies, but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warrior souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice, "Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle." His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths, "His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!" Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied, "Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny." His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air. "Gohan's unleashing an incredible power." His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment. "But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this," he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice, "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta, "Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!" His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far. And I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan.
The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength.
Was that enough?
He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over.
You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power.
Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z Warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all.
No! I can't give up! This power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the Earth!
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced.
Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan.
Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll, weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength. Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love." His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere. "I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!"
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z Warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action. "We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy." Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically. "We have it, Piccolo. I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're going to give our best." Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes, let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team!
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination. "Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit." Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly, "Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there." Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience. "Every battle, every loss, strengthens us and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom." Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile! We'll fight with everything we have!
The memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z Warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
"Thank you, Gohan.
Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup. By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bonds of camaraderie and trust between the Z warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta! There's no turning back now! Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all! Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my powers, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night, painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter.
Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our front safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack. Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly. The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training in epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies but also rivals who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity. This epic moment not only symbolized the brute strength of the legendary Saiyans, but also the depth of their connection as battle companions and friends. Her self-sacrifice and dedication to protecting her home and loved ones shone with an intensity that defied the shadows of despair. With Takagami vulnerable before them, Earth's heroes prepared for the final assault, determined to put an end to the dark threat looming over their world and restore the lost peace. As this crucial opportunity approached, Gohan and Piccolo, two warriors whose togetherness goes beyond simple camaraderie, combined their powers with synchronization and understanding that only the closest battle partners could achieve. With relentless determination and a strategic focus sharp as the edge of a sword, they faced the creatures summoned by Takagami, with a bravery that inspired everyone present on the battlefield.
Mr. Piccolo, keep the rear guard. I'm going to the front. It is crucial to maintain our formation and protect our backs as we move forward towards the main battle. I trust you to keep us safe from behind.
Understood, Gohan. Don't let your guard down. Our coordination is key for being victorious. Stay alert and move forward with determination. Together we'll overcome this challenge.
Gohan's energy, bright and powerful as the sun as it peaks, was intertwined with Piccolo's tactical cunning and dexterity, creating a symphony of power and skill that defied expectations. Each coordinated movement between them was a masterful combined dance, where offensive and defense intertwined in a lethal harmony. The creatures summoned by Takagami, who once posed a formidable threat, now found themselves at a disadvantage in the face of the unbreakable union of these two exceptional warriors. The battlefield lit up with flashes of brilliant energy as Gohan and Piccolo unleashed their full potential, overcoming every obstacle with steely determination and calculated strategies. The trust between them was palpable, a connection that transcended words and manifested itself in every punch and every block. With each enemy defeated, their path to Takagami cleared, bringing them closer and closer to the final victory they sought to protect their world and their loved ones.
Gohan, you need to buy time. I will prepare my best attack to defeat these creatures. I trust you can keep them busy while I get ready. Together, we can change the course of this battle.
Mr. Piccolo, I'll do my best to buy time. My goal is to keep these creatures at bay as long as possible so I can prepare their attack. Trust me, I won't let you down.
The moment of truth was approaching, and Gohan was advancing with a firm step, while Piccolo prepared his best attack to defeat these creatures summoned by Bahamut's disciple and put an end to the darkness that had threatened his home. His fiery determination was a beacon of hope for those who witnessed his courageous struggle, reminding them that strength lies in the unity and indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice and peace. The critical moment came when every move decided the fate of the battle. Gohan, in a last effort, took his final form. With his bright and determined aura, advanced to the front of the battle line, facing the dark creatures with a mixture of bravery and strategy, as he blocked the onslaughts of the shadows with his dazzling ki. The creatures, summoned by Takagami, were not easy rivals to beat, but Gohan in his ultimate form took a lot of confidence and began to face the creatures they are facing. Gohan knew that keeping the creatures at bay was crucial to allowing Piccolo to unleash his full power, while Gohan struggled to contain the shadows with his fast movements and powerful attacks. Piccolo concentrated his energy, preparing for the most powerful technique. The tension on the battlefield was palpable, but there was no room for doubt. Confidence in their abilities and in their partner was the key to facing the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Gohan, keep it up. You're demonstrating exceptional courage and impressive mastery on the battlefield. Every movement of yours is a barrier that prevents the advancement of these creatures. It's crucial that you hold this firmness for a few more moments while I finalize the preparations for my final ultimate technique. I have full confidence in your abilities and determination. Remember that our teamwork is the key to overcoming any challenge. Keep the pressure on and don't let your guard down. Together we can turn the tide of this battle and protect our loved ones.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll not allow them to advance a single step further. You can trust me. I'm fully prepared to take on this responsibility and keep these creatures at bay. Together, We can overcome this and protect our loved ones. My determination's unwavering, and I'll not back down in the face of this challenge, because I know that every stroke I stop here is a step towards victory. Our teamwork and mutual trust will give us the strength to prevail in this battle. Let's show them what we're capable of and write our own destiny in this struggle.
The scene unfolds with increasing intensity as Gohan definitively plunges into the maelstrom of combat. His determination is reflected in every gesture, in every tense muscle, and in every flash of energy that emanates from his being. The creatures summoned by Takagami's nightmarish creatures with twisted shapes and burning eyes fiercely advance towards Gohan, seeking to overwhelm him with their numbers and their uncontrolled fury. Gohan, however, is not daunted. His ki shines around him like an aura of power, marking every movement with a clear purpose. When the first creature lunges with sharp claws, Gohan responds with a precise block, channeling his energy to stop the attack with a glowing barrier. The resulting impact makes the ground tremble under his feet, but Gohan remains steadfast, his eyes fixed on his opponent. Each subsequent blow is an exhibition of martial skill and ki control. Gohan moves with grace and speed, dodging the onslaughts of creatures with fluid movements, and countering with calculated blows. His fists and legs turn into bursts of energy, hitting the enemies with force and precision. Each impact causes bursts of energy that light up the battlefield, drawing bright arcs in the air and kicking up swirls of dust around them. The creatures do not retreat easily. Their resistance is stubborn, and their thirst for destruction is insatiable. Gohan is forced to deploy more advanced techniques, combining his speed and strength with concentrated energy attacks. Ki waves cut through the air as Gohan releases bursts of controlled energy, seeking to weaken his opponents and open gaps in their defenses. Every block, every dodge, is a dance of anticipation and reaction. Gohan relies on his training and his intellect, reading the movements of the creatures, responding with precise movements. Your connection to your spiritual energy is evident in every movement, every pulse of energy emanating from your being. Meanwhile, Piccolo completes the charge of his definitive technique, his absolute concentration palpable in the air. The sound of his pent-up energy resonates on the battlefield, adding a layer of palpable tension to the charged atmosphere of battle. Gohan feels Piccolo's accumulated power as a beacon of hope and a call to redouble his efforts.
This is our chance, Gohan. Keep the pressure on them, and don't give them any respite. Every move of yours is crucial right now, as we are close to changing the course of this battle. I trust in your ability to keep them at bay while we prepare our counterattack. Keep your determination and keep going. Together, we can make it happen.
Gohan nods with determination as he prepares for the next attack. The combat dance between Gohan and the creatures reach its climax when Gohan, with a graceful twist, unleashes a series of energy blasts that cut through the enemy ranks. The creatures recoil momentarily, their twisted forms showing signs of weakness for the first time.
Goten! Trunks! I need you to be alert! Mr. Piccolo is preparing a powerful attack! Move quickly and maintain your defenses! Our coordination is crucial at this critical moment of the battle. We can't afford to make mistakes now. I'm confident in your ability to respond quickly and effectively. Stay focused and keep fighting with determination. Come on, we can still turn the tide of this battle in our favor.
The moment came when Gohan, with a precise movement, opened a breach in the creature's defenses, allowing Piccolo to unleash his devastating attack. With a resounding scream, Piccolo releases his ultimate technique, a beam of concentrated energy that cuts through the sky like a fiery comet.
Makankasapo!
The pure energy swirls frantically around the lightning, forming a spiral of controlled energy that seems to dance in the air with calculated ferocity. The extreme concentration of energy causes a burst that radiates a dazzling radiance, as if the sun itself were transcending on the battlefield. The energy beam, with its incomparable power, transverses the enemy ranks with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the creatures with an amazing efficiency that takes the breath away of those who witness its devastating impact. The initial explosion is only the prelude to the destruction that is unleashed. The torrent of concentrated energy envelops the creatures in a lethal embrace, eroding their forms with an overwhelming intensity. Each wave of energy emanating from the ray is like a chisel, carving out space itself, gradually disintegrating the creatures that meet its path with an inexorable inevitability. The show is both majestic and terrifying, with the energy displayed manifesting in vibrant colors that collide and intertwine in a chaotic dance. The controlled destruction leaves in its wake a trail of disintegration that seems to defy the very laws of physics, demonstrating the supreme power that resides in the hands of those who master the arts of combat and energy control. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the dark threat dissipating with each defeated creature. Gohan and Piccolo, breathing heavily, but with a satisfied smile, met in the center of the battlefield, knowing that their teamwork and determination had tipped the scales toward victory. Now, with the road to Takamagami clear, they were preparing for the final assault, confident that their union would return their greatest strength. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the echo of controlled destruction echoing through the air as the enemy creatures vanquished before the combined might of Gohan and Piccolo. The glow of the dissipated energy hinted at the near victory, marked by the determination and teamwork of the brave warriors Z, Gohan, and Piccolo. Breathing heavily but with a smile of satisfaction on their faces, met in the center of the battlefield, exchanging looks of complicity that spoke of a bond forged in battle and camaraderie. Meanwhile, in another part of the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta were facing Takagami in an epic duel that defied the limits of known power. With their faces marked with determination and their eyes shining with a fierce intensity, the two legendary Saiyans demonstrated once again why they were considered the most powerful warriors in the universe. His movements were like a whirlwind of quick attacks and precise defenses, each strike resounding like thunder in the energy-charged air.
Vegeta, keep the pressure on! Let's finish this together!
Of course, Kakarot! I'm not gonna let this guy beat us!
The intensity of their confrontation filled the battlefield, making the ground shake with every energy shock. Takagami, although powerful, was in a challenging position in the face of the unstoppable combination of Goku and Vegeta.
I'll not underestimate your power, Saiyans. I recognize their bravery, but their determination will not be enough to stop me. My strength is unshakable. My power is unstoppable. Get ready to face the real darkness.
Track